Live from Pahrump, Nevada, the Valley of the Dirt People, it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday with your hosts, Jimmy Lewis and Logan Tyler.
Welcome, everybody, to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, episode number 215. And Logan grew a beard.
I'm Logan now.
No, you are Ryan. Welcome to the show, Ryan Williams.
Appreciate you having me.
So Ryan, I got to know Ryan because he is one of our advisory members on our OHV board here, our OHV advisory committee, where we're attempting, doing our best, moving forward as fast as possible to build a motocross track in the town of Pahrump, built by the county, Nye County, which is super awesome to live in a county that really enjoys doing this. So Ryan, welcome to the show. Wave to all your soon-to-be fans.
Howdy. What's up, everybody?
So the real reason I had Ryan on is because we got to ride 300 dirt bikes.
We did.
Trevor finally surrendered the KTM 300, the 2024 KTM 300 XCW and the Beta 300 RR. So we got to take those for a little rip. So, of course, that is coming up on the show tonight. We have a Rooster Endo segment coming up. We have Rooster Endo submissions. It's amazing how many people think that they could send it in at 6:54 and I can somehow make it come up on this show. It has to happen a little bit earlier, just saying. So I will, if they come to my email, I will catalog those for next time. If they go into the Facebook world, my friends, because some people post them up on Facebook, they may get lost forever. Right, Dave Donnelly?
Get them next time.
But we did mine Dave Donnelly's back out of the ether. So that's on the show tonight. I just dropped my Honda Transalp 750 video. So if you have Honda Transalp questions, so this is Dirt Bike Test. This is a show where we answer motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. Ryan's job as the co-host is anytime I decide to do this, which is reach over and because you already got yours.
That I did.
Now you talk while I have
All right. Well, go ahead. So, howdy, everybody in Tech Talk Taco Tuesday world. New to the show, first time over here.
I was going to make you read my sponsors.
Yeah? Is that what you're going to do? I thought I was supposed to introduce myself. First time over here, nobody knows who I am.
Oh, we'll get to that.
All right.
Some people have accused me before of talking about myself an awful lot.
Never.
There was this one time I did. I went a little bit off, but I like to, I'll poke around and learn the things. If people have questions, this is a kind of a show where you can literally ask any kind of question that you want, and if you need to know information about Ryan, you can ask information about Ryan.
There you go.
Fair? Okay. So back to the list off. Tell us. Just because I'm thirsty.
Yeah, I could tell you all about the wonderful sponsors of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. We have Yamaha, Blue Crew, Taco Moto, based out of Vegas, I believe. Mm-hmm. Love to see the local companies. Scott Sports, got some sweet, what are these, prospects right here?
Prospects.
Hanging out on the desk.
With the light transitioning lens. And our studio lights are so hot, they're actually transitioning just a little bit. And I see my fingerprints inside.
That's a good one.
Which makes me mad.
That's all right. We'll wipe it off during the break.
Yep.
We've got Climb, DDC, rad sprockets. I think there's one over my shoulder somewhere.
Right.
Trail Tech got their kickstand on the old 450. Fasst Company flex bars.
Right.
Bulletproof designs and double take mirrors.
You're almost tired. That was an excellent
Almost.
ad read. And I usually have to stay primed because if you start saying something wrong, then I have to spit my drink out and then correct you because you can't do anything wrong on this show. It's all about perfection. Gene Woods, Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, says a nice hat. So one of the notes right there. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame going down on January 27th. It looks like there is a Dakar Daily Podcast happening.
Notice the shirt? Yeah. This leads me to my call-in guest in a few moments. It's the one Mr. Jessie Zeigler. But back to the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. Are you going?
This is the first time hearing about it, but it sounds rad. It's on Fremont Street, right?
It's on Fremont Street. It's an informational service, this show. We answer and just provide information to everybody. Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, its registration is free. You can go to this event for free. Of course, they wouldn't mind if you made a donation so it can help Gene buy these awesome shoes for people in need. That's
nice.
They
check
call it
that
hot
out.
shoe. Yeah, it's just It's just a
Right on.
shoe that he gives guys that aren't down on their luck. And so, anyways, that's his charity. But he has his awesome go-kart facility there. He has the placards up from all the inductees. It's an amazing list of inductees. I'm really interested. I'm hoping some of these guys show up because sometimes they don't show up. But I'm hoping Mitch Payton is one of the ones that's going in. Mert Lawwill is going in, and there was one other that was farther down on the list. They're inducting Al Baker this year.
XRs only.
Correct. Al Baker was one of my first full-on sponsors that gave me a motorcycle. He gave me a few motorcycles. Take this and ride this bike, and I was like, really? Before I was buying my own bikes. I I rode magazine bikes, but nobody ever gave me a motorcycle. It's like, no, it's yours. So, which was pretty cool. Al Baker, an awesome guy. So,
Right on.
Good list of people at the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. Should be a fun event. And I mean, you get to, like, a lot of these guys that are there, it's one of these times you can just approach them and talk to them. They're just there, having a beer or whatever they drink, and they tell stories. Jerry Bernardo and the other co-host, they interview people, and I think they have like 2 rooms where they have interviews going on, so you can go in there and and the cool thing is when these guys get older, you know how you get faster no, you don't know yet. You get a lot faster when you went older, but the stories flow a little freer. So you're not worried about keeping your sponsors happy. Neither am I, but I mean I am, but not really. And so yeah, good times. So awesome to see that. Yeah, and Kevin Hopper says it's about time for Mert, and for sure. A lot of it is just there's so many people, especially in the hot shoe. So hot shoe, everybody thinks it's going to be like flat track and speedway, and it's not. It's really just dirt. It's kind of all kinds of motorcycle journalists. There's a lot of people in that Hall of Fame that are.
You in there yet?
Well, now that you asked, yeah, my placard's right here, right there.
Oh, nice.
It tells you a little bit about what I'd done in my former life.
Good stuff.
Yeah, but I begged to get in there. I mean, I had to submit like resumes and tell them who I was, and I had to invite Gene out here and let him come on the podcast. And guy, it's like. Pahrump is one toilet flush away from Vegas, and Gene taught me that very eloquently on the show. So, but anyways, good times to see everybody. All the guys in the chat. Gronk is there. Mark Daniels, of course, hanging out watching the Dakar highlights. Well, turn that off. Speaking of that, I'm gonna try to get Zeigler on here. I didn't see any other good questions come through on the Instagram, so. If you on the Instagrams want to see us on this show, you're gonna have to go to our YouTube or other pages, but. Again, you're missing out on the guy with the beard. He's going to drop all kinds of knowledge because guys with beards are wise. So with that, we'll park on the Instagrams right now. We'll go unlive. Unlive. Yes, I'm about to end this. Okay. And I want to share it, but I don't know what to call it yet. I'll figure that out in a minute. You can also click through on our Amazon links, which currently are not working on our website, which is really bad. Or plug your ears, Ryan. Just plug them right in. Yeah, that's right. You just plug them right through the heads. Rocky Mountain MCATV links if you are going to be buying motorcycle products. But I think you think they should go to Revzilla.
I would say so. Yeah,
Right.
they pay me well to know a lot about dirt bike stuff. I would be a little bit partial and say that maybe you should head over to Revzilla.com, maybe your local cycle gear. But guys over at Rocky Mountain, they're pretty all right too.
You don't have to plug my sponsors. I'll plug them enough. So no, Ryan does work for Revzilla. And what exactly are you doing over there?
I help manage the product catalog for the off-road side of the business.
Okay.
So, yeah, a lot of dirt bike parts, a little bit of gear here and there, but mostly on the parts side of the business for Revzilla and cycle gear.
Cool. It's funny because like when you're searching for things and there's all different options and I find that it's kind of like two-stroke oil. You sort of find one that you like. And then you sort of like keep using it.
Totally.
But then there's something that's exclusive to a group or a brand. Like you can only get this kind of gear here or that there and other things. And I don't judge or discriminate against all the different companies because it's like we sort of need them all and we kind of need them to get along. Because I've seen it where they stop getting along and then they start getting into a fight and then one of them goes away. And I've never seen it get better for the other guy. It's not like the one went away and everything got better. It caused enough disarray to where nothing got better.
No, I mean, you see it all the time, especially over the past few years, right? I mean, the more the better, more players in the game, more competition. It's all good stuff.
Competition is good as long as it's healthy competition. When it goes into like, oh, we've got enough money in the coffers that we can just lower everything and drive these guys out of business, well, guess what happens when that ends? It's like then they go right back up, or there's some kind of fallout that you just didn't see. And a lot of times it's jobs in the industry, and a lot of it's just market forces working out. But over, been doing this for a long time. I've seen a lot of cyclical things, and like with this big boost that we had post COVID, when everybody during COVID, everybody went out, and now all of a sudden we're doing a correction, I feel. And I don't pay that much attention, but when I go to like the AIM Expo, which I'll go to in Vegas in a few weeks, when I go to some of these different shows or talk to other people that are, some of the guys that are working for, importers or distributors or different things, and you kind of hear the business side of it, and like it's like I just want to go ride.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'm off the clock right now. I've got a beer in my hand, so clocked out a few hours ago.
We don't want to talk. We don't want to talk business. That's good.
Talk dirt bikes.
Yeah. So, do you know Dave Donnelly?
Name looks familiar.
Right.
I don't know if we've met before. Maybe I think I recognize your name from maybe one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. Prump Moto, maybe.
Yeah, he's probably in the Prump Moto. So dirt bike is. Greetings from Tucson, and Dirt Bike would love to hear Dakar talk, even though we don't talk about racing. Well, I'm not racing it, so why should I bother? Actually, I'm going to try to make a call here real quick and see if I can get somebody into this that might know a little bit about that. I told him I'd text him first, but I think I'm just going to go just straight to cold call here. Let's turn this on, see what my phone does. Okay, if he picks up and there's screaming children in the back, I'm gonna be a little bit.
Just hang up.
Yeah, could do that. He probably won't want to talk to us anyways. I'll call him back later if he doesn't call back. This is how we do it here in the show. I'll hang up on him right when he answers. If he doesn't go. Trying to get the host of the Dakar Daily Podcast, Jessie Zeigler, on the show.
I was told there'd be a warning text message before my call.
See, already complaining. This is, remember, you were a subordinate of mine back in the Dirt Rider days.
Yeah, I don't have to put up with that anymore.
Obviously. Jessie Zeigler, welcome to the show. I got Ryan Williams here, who's got a really nice, sweet beard. He got to ride 300s. Remember when you used to get to go test dirt bikes with me?
I don't even know how to ride a dirt bike anymore. I haven't ridden in like a month and a half.
That's why you're such a good podcast host then. Because if I wouldn't go riding, this would be probably the best podcast motorcycle show in the internets.
It's amazing how much free time you can fill with other projects when you don't ride motorcycles.
Right. Well, again, so what I want you to do is you need to pump your show.
Pumping the show. Well,
because I have a question right here from Dirt Bike that says, would love since Dakar talk.
Yep.
That's what he said.
I don't know if I'm
right.
Love since Dakar talk.
I think he meant to say some Dakar talk. That's the way I said it the first time. So, let's have some Dakar talk. Like first of all, where do they find your show?
So the easiest place to find Dakar Rally Daily is Google search bar. You can just type in Dakar Rally Daily, and you're going to get a podcast link, and you're going to get a YouTube series. And the YouTube series is on Cycle News' YouTube channel. Or you can go to any of your podcast distributors, anywhere you get podcasts. Apple Podcasts is the worldwide leader in that, but you can get it on Spotify or wherever you want. And you just search for Dakar Rally Daily. Subscribe to it. And we do a daily show, race recap with interviews and sound bites and videos from the pits of the Dakar. And it's pretty cool because we're getting really good access faster than you can get it on TV. And sort of just giving you the down and dirty details of the race every day.
And the cool thing is from somebody who does know how to follow it, like on all these different ways you can follow tracking, and there's live updates and scoring, and through like the Dakar app, and there's a couple guys who are hijacking data off it. There's places you can go an ADV rider. The guys are, they're pulling in every international feed. They're believe me.
Yeah.
Not this stuff is going like live a lot of times, and so they're watching all over the place. We just don't have that luxury here, but you guys do such a good job. And I'm not blowing your horn here. It's mostly because you have Quinn Cody in studio. But you guys do a really good job on the show, and that way I don't have to. So thank you, and that's
you're welcome.
That's why Jimmy Lewis Off Road is one of probably your best sponsor.
You're my favorite sponsor I'm talking to.
Okay,
right now, for sure.
Right,
and and I think the magic of what we do is we really distill it down to kind of what matters. We don't talk a lot about the side-by-sides, the trucks, the race cars, all the other circus that's going on there, because really to get the like depth of what Dakar is, focus on the bikes. We primarily focus on Rally GP guys, but there's some Rally 2 guys that are up there competing, so we talk about them. And then we focus on the Mali Moto guys, or the original by Moto. So really there's enough to talk about just with motorcycles there. But instead of going over every detail, we kind of like distill it down to the facts, and then sort of the strategy and the results and the consequences of those results every day, and how it works out in the long thing. And the main thing we're trying to put across is the grand scale of this event in every aspect. It's not just a lot of miles. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of fuel. It's, a lot of media. It's a lot of coverage, like you said, internationally. If you could watch it live, you could get everything that we're saying, but you would have to kind of distill it in your brain somehow and try to like export a Chat GPT summary of what happened that day and try to understand it all. So what we're trying to do is do all that for you, pump it out before noon every day.
So now you're claiming you're claiming you're better than Chat GTP.
Right now I am, but I probably won't be by the end of the season.
Okay, because that's what you used to do to me down at Dirt Rider. The only thing you never told me is that you were a better rider than I was. Everything else, I'm pretty sure you could have been a better editor of the magazine. You were definitely better at going to meetings, and I'm not going to dispute that one.
God, I'm still suffering meeting hell every day in my life.
I didn't realize how good at Jesse was going to meetings until he started going to meetings, and they thought it was me.
Nice. That's good. I need one of those.
They thought they were talking to like the boss of Dirt Rider, and I'm like bitching. I had such a good day out at Glen Helen today, and they thought it was at a meeting. Even some people from our own company, not just the advertisers that Jesse woed. So I mean, he's got to be good at whatever he's doing now, which is mostly ad sales, because he's getting me to give him some money.
Most people can't believe it. They can't believe that we're getting you to give us money.
It's called blood out of a turnip, my friend. It hurts.
We're trying really hard. Really hard out there. Well, we wouldn't let you support us if we didn't believe in what you're doing and we didn't know for a fact that it works either. The other way.
I need to get that machine that pats me on the back automatically.
I mean, we don't have a sponsor that's just giving us money.
Yeah.
We only have sponsors. It's Climb Motorcycle Riding Gear.
I like them a lot.
Them. Yeah. It's KTM Husqvarna Gas Group. They make bikes that are awesome.
Not familiar. Yeah. I like Yamahas over here, but it's
you know the guys at Rally Navigator really well, and you've been a master Rally Navigator user.
Hey, how come? I wonder why I don't have Rally Navigator as a sponsor. I'm gonna go. You know what? You may not get your check from them. I'm gonna go talk to Mike immediately after this show.
Well, yeah, it all works out. So, all the people that are helping us out are authentic motorcycle-minded businesses, and they really make great stuff. And we're proud to have them on the show. And
you forgot to mention Fasst Company. They're a sponsor of your show too.
I got a big list. Fasst Company is, the boys at Fastco have been helping, all of us out for a long time, and they make some great products. I love them. We got Moto Minded on there. Moto Minded just released a new rally tower for any current model, Austrian dirt bike that is removable. It's like version 3.5. This thing is sweet.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
If you want to get a
for a long time.
Navigator tower, go to Moto Minded, and they got some great stuff. Giant Loop Moto bags are helping us. I mean, the list just kind of keeps going on and on. Taco Moto, I think he does your,
Rooster
your
Endo segment,
upside down Rooster Endo segment. So there's a lot of good people aboard, and we are pumped to have them.
Any way I can talk about my sponsors organically, Jesse, it makes me seem like less of a shill for them.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Here I am making you look good again.
Okay, so I'm Ricky's doing really good. Ricky's my boy. I put his poster up behind me right now on the screen just to.
He looks really good.
Yeah.
He looks good. He sounds good. He's confident. I mean, he's suffering just like everybody else is out there with those big days and those challenges. But really, the top three have separated themselves by about a 20-minute cushion at the moment, and they're just looking really good.
That's real reminiscent of like back in my day. It was always there would be sort of like a breakaway of a group of guys, and a lot of times it didn't matter because those guys, like just attrition can take out anybody at any time. This is the thing. Yep. But when you have like these guys that kind of make a breakaway, they kind of start pushing each other, and the times when I saw it happen, they would push each other, and even the guy when the second guy would go out and he was the only guy, he wouldn't know it, and he'd still be pushing and he'd go out because it was like during a stage the top two guys would just disappear. And that's the kind of interesting thing that can happen to this. I hate to see it, when guys crash and get hurt. And it's just a bummer when it's a mechanical thing. But hey, this is why we line up and this is why we race. And I will not be talking about Dakar that much on the show because I'm leaving it up to you guys. And like I said, I follow. I like listen. I'm glad that I taught you how to play with the YouTubes. Just enough to make your life even more miserable because now you can enjoy what I do once a week. I only do it once a week, kind of like you do cycle news.
Yeah, cycle news once a week, which is way too often.
Right.
But it gets the information out there that people want and I think people deserve. And I think Dakar Rally Daily is the same. It's a grind. Quinn and I are getting up at 5 a.m. every morning and just hounding all these people in Saudi Arabia on our cell phones through WhatsApp and everything like, hey, can you get a video of this guy? That's another thing. We have a guy on the ground this year.
Right.
A correspondent, Anthony Bonello. He is embedded with a side-by-side team, but his stuff he's getting for us is absolute gold. He's interviewing people about what happened during the race. They have their guard down. They're just being real, and we're getting real inside information. Just like if you were,
he's like a motorcycle guy though. He's
definitely a motorcycle guy. Yeah, right. He raced Sonora Rally. He's done some other rally riding. He filmed the KTM Adventure Rider Rally this year, so he's definitely a moto guy. He rips, but he's there as a video and a media guy for a side by side team.
You hope that he keeps that side by side job. Because there's no way you could afford to have a correspondent at Dakar.
No, he hit Quinn up and said, "I'm trying to go. Do you guys want me to help?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'll try to kick down some sponsorship funds for you to help you out, but it's not going to pay for your trip to Dakar, that's for sure."
Good. At least I know my money's not going in your pocket. That was
no, it's not. It's going to him. It's going to a good cause, not my kids.
So cool. Well, anyways, if I were you, and I'm not, and I had kids, about 45 minutes ago, I would have given my kid a Monster Energy, and I would have tried to contain her on my lap while I was doing this call and make her scream to bloody hell because there's nothing worse. And take this from, I don't want to give anybody. There's nothing worse than hearing a child scream, and we love good audio quality here.
Well, I could arrange that. I got 3 of them out there. I'll just throw the phone out in the living room and let them fight over it like a pack of wild dogs.
I'm sure that could happen. So at that point we'll cut it off. So, hey Jesse, thanks for coming on and telling us a little about the podcast. Hopefully, if you are listening, you want to know more about Dakar, that's the place to go. They're on YouTube, and like I said, you got good little video clips in the YouTubes. And it's kind of funny because you're taking it to that next level, going from a straight audio format to something where there's some visuals, but you can still listen to it as a podcast, which is really
absolutely
cool.
Yes.
So, awesome.
Yep, absolutely. If you watch the video, you get to see me fumble with buttons, which is always fun. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to make it work.
Jimmy's doing that over here.
I'm doing that over here too. I'm trying to.
It's a theme. It's a theme.
It's when we start getting the big budgets, it'll be all good. So, anyways, Jesse, I'm gonna I'm gonna see you out on the trail. So, cheers.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Have a great night.
Take care.
Bye.
That was Cycle News' Digital Throttles Dakar Daily Podcast, Jessie Zeigler. So yeah, check that out. So Ryan, what we've got to get into is there was one thing I wanted you to I don't think I copied it out. There was somebody said something nice about Jesse, and I was going to read the comment, but I kind of forgot about it. So Hey, another thing, another bit of news that I want to tell you about is there is currently a lot of fake climb websites going on. There's kind of a news bit. I talked to the climb guys today because actually I had my friend call me up and go, "Hey man, they're having these really cool deals on this Artemis jacket." And I go, "That's a woman's jacket, dude." And he's like, "Yeah, but it's almost worth it." And then, I mean, I don't care what you wear, but I go, "Yeah." And then he's almost too good to be true. And then I was actually talking to my contact at Climb. I was talking to Lucas, and I'm like, "Hey," I go, like, a lot of people have been asking me about these really good deals. He goes, "Fake website scams."
It happens more than you think.
So right now there's a bunch of them for Climb, and if it's like weird climb.us or Climb online, all these weird websites, you're sending your money out into the atmosphere and you're not going to get anything. So it's just a shell website that looks just like the regular one. And there's a credit card thing, and they take your money, and you send them money, and then good luck on trying to get it back.
If it's too good of a deal to be true, it probably is.
Right.
We see it all the time at work. A Rye XD4 for $50, and then they call Revzilla customer service looking for their helmet, and it's got scammed. Got.
And they make everything look really good. So be really aware of that right now, especially like I said on the Climbs front. I hate to see that happen to anybody, but especially when it's involved with one of our sponsors. So thanks to Victor for asking. A couple other guys asked about it as well. And here's the thing. We're always trying to boost our viewership here. It's one of the things we do. Tonight we're giving away a special gift package from Fasst Company. So I didn't want to say this right at the beginning of the show. I didn't want to say it on the Instagrams, but I think what we're gonna do is. What should we do? We could do like the best comment of the night. Best question. Could get it. So what Fasst Company is going to give you is either a brake clevis or the return spring for the Austrian style bikes, and some rim lock. What do we call
spacers?
Them? They're not spacers.
Caps.
Centering things. Yeah, rim lock spacer things. And then also a T-shirt. So it's a little thing, but it's a cool thing. So we're gonna start on most of the shows. We're gonna start giving stuff away. I'm gonna have different ways to do it, but on this one, I think we're going to do our best question for the night. And I'll go back and hopefully you're still watching okay, it's gonna be top 3 questions.
Top 3.
The best questions. I'll try to remember what they are, mark them, and then I'm going to, because I have the ability to scroll on my thing over here, so I can go back and see them. Because a lot of times when they go off the screen, they literally go into vapor sphere. But that way I can kind of come back and check on them, and then you can argue for yourself to win the Fasst Company package. So, interesting. I saw someone pop up that said hi. Yeah, Penny Rittenhouse. I went to school with her back when we were doing communication arts back at like Cal Lutheran, where I quote technically learned how to do all this crap, even though we were editing on 3/4-inch beta and learning how to.
I don't even know what that means. Before my time,
doing television newscast things with giant cameras that were took 2 people to hold up, but that was back in the day. So I need a giant console button like Jessie Zeigler. Well, I have a little one. Look, I have just a little teeny guy. It's right here. I'll hold it up for
it's fancy.
Yeah, I don't think it's not gonna. I'm gonna break the cable off it. So if you want to know what the Fasst Company brake clevis, it's just a factory works part. I'm gonna let you hold that up.
That is fancy. Check that out.
If you hold it up to the camera there.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's tight. It's titanium and it's nice.
What is that? It's got that cool finish on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not anything you'd ever see, but it's just more precise.
Almost dropped her.
And an interesting thing in when you look at like what makes a works bike is people really taking the time to attention to detail, and Fasst Company was making all these kind of little parts. Like their spoke torque wrench is amazing. And there's lots of knockoffs, but they're not nearly as good, and they don't hold their tune.
Are you telling me I shouldn't just hit the spokes with a wrench and listen for it?
You can do that.
There's a better way?
If you want to learn how to do that right, use a Fasst Company spoke torque wrench, and then all your spokes sound the same. It's pretty amazing.
Checks out.
Okay. Okay. So let's get into the questions. Oh, by the way, we're testing TourTech suspension still. the KTM 300 and the Beta 300. We should just go straight into talking about that.
Talk about those before I forget.
Right. Yeah, because a couple beers can make people forget things.
It's been a whole 48 hours.
So since you rode them or since your last beer?
Since I rode them.
Yeah. So anyhow, so we have the 2024 KTM 300 and the Beta 300. Trevor's had them for a while. He's done like initial kind of writing impressions. I think they did a couple video impressions of them. And then I finally got our hands on them. Both those bikes have about 30 hours on them. They have different tires and now mousses in them. And then there's a couple of TM Design Works parts on the Beta just because they put them on for shooting some photos for another thing. And other than that, they are box stock, just completely standard bikes. And I was amazed because today I weighed the bikes.
Oh, yeah?
And so I was really impressed, and I want to do one more bit of research that I didn't do, but do you want to tell me how much you thought they weighed, full tank of gas?
Full tank of gas. They had to be pretty even. I mean, what are we talking, 240 plus or minus, I don't know, 10 pounds maybe?
Okay.
Got to be, be in that range.
So the KTM was 253 pounds of the full tank of gas.
All right.
I know that's kind of what I said because I weighed that one first. And this is full tank of gas, and they hate it when we do full tank of gas because I think the KTM has 2.4 gallon gas tank, which I think is slightly bigger than the Betas, which is right around 2. But anyways, so what do you think the Beta weighed?
I feel like it's going to be a shocking answer. 235?
No, 252. It was actually, with a pound of gas, it was 1 pound lighter. Now, a couple other things. I didn't take the flappy handguards off of the two bikes, and the oil tanks on both of them were pretty much full as well. So these are about as full as they could get, and they have handguards, and I don't think the Beta comes with handguards. So there's all these little things, but they're the same weight, which is crazy because the Beta always feels light when you ride it, but they used to literally be 20 pounds heavier than the KTM. And what has happened is the KTM has become what we'll call more motorcycle, which is strange because that engine is so much smaller. And when the crank is spinning around, the crank inertia and stuff, it feels like not the overall feel of the bike, but just the engine inertia feel and stuff is really light on that motorcycle. And I was really, really surprised. I'm kind of wondering where that weight came from on that motorcycle.
Yeah, that's pretty shocking.
But I think I might be remembering back to when they were electric start. They were still down in the the high 230s maybe. So somehow there's 10 pounds have come onto that motorcycle. I think some of the wheels and axles have gotten a little bit bigger. Maybe the suspension, since they've gone to the cartridge fork, maybe that's gained some weight, but I don't know where it came from. The question is, like, do you feel it?
No.
Neither of those bikes feel 250 pounds.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and so kind of a fun little thing there. When I weighed him, I was pretty shocked. But overall, which one? That's what everybody wants to know. Okay, which one's the fastest?
Which one's the fastest? I mean, we drag raced them a couple times in different gears, and I mean they're right next to each other. So I mean the fastest, but
which one feels faster?
It's tough. I mean, the Beta feels faster, but for strange reasons. I feel like it's a raw 2-stroke feeling machine, whereas the KTM's it's a tractor, Yeah,
so they're both tractors. The Beta, for sure, I totally agree with you. It does feel faster. It has more of a carbureted feel, but if you put somebody on those bikes and didn't let them look underneath, and you'd say both these bikes are fuel injected or both these bikes are carbureted, and everybody say they're both fuel injected. The throttle response and the jetting on the Beta is that good. It's ridiculous compared to even 4 or 5 years ago how far along the jetting has come. I mean, other than having to turn the choke on to start it when it's really cold, and it was 35 degrees when I started him up, not a big difference. So they handle it. They're exactly the same fastest. They're the fast. I think top speed, the Beta would win on top speed because it feels like the gearing is just a tad bit wider, especially third to fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth to fifth has a little bit of jump, and then I don't know if the jump to sixth is that much more. It's still pretty close. Like, you don't feel the gap fifth to sixth. But I think the final drive, the total top speed, it has a little bit more, so it would run a little bit faster. I think you could actually top the KTM out. You could get it to kind of go into rev limiter in sixth gear, which is still it'd probably be, I want to say it'd be 95 miles an hour. I've not taken out to the dry lake bed to try to blow it up yet, but I could.
We'll have to get there.
Yeah. So that's handling wise. So I was kind of, like I said, shocked about the weight. Probably the biggest thing I was shocked about was the weight. And the Beta has always felt way lighter than it is. It still feels really light. To me, the Beta, and this is where I think we're going to disagree a little bit. To me, the Beta feels like it has a long wheelbase, and it feels like it acts more stable than it is.
I think we are going to disagree on that one. It felt like, to me, a shorter wheelbase bike, and I think a lot of that comes from, we talked about it while we were out on the trail, the geometry of it. You're what, 5'10" around there?
Yep.
I'm 6'2". When I was on the Beta, I felt hunched over and cramped, so it just felt like a smaller bike to me. But I think that might have just been, and we haven't taken a tape measure to it unless you have.
No, I didn't get around to doing the tape measure of the rider triangle or any of that stuff. But I did look at the bars closely, and they are kind of a low bend handlebar, which would kind of, because I'm actually, one of the things I want to get for it, surprise, surprise, is a set of flex bars. I want to get flex bars and their foot pegs, because I don't know if I'm put on that one, because we are going to get a 300R race edition. It has the 2 spark plug head and some stuff. They want us to test that one just to kind of compare and contrast the differences. But I on one of those bikes, because the chassis has a little bit stiffer feel on the front end.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of feel that it's not the forks, it's not the action of the forks. It's just a stiffer chassis. But you felt more like the KTM was more roomy.
Oh yeah, it felt like I was sitting in the bike more than on it. The Beta felt like I was sitting on top of it. When I'm standing up, I'm really hunched over. The KTM, in the seated position at least, felt like the bars were much higher, and then standing, much less hunched over when we were getting a little more aggressive and into some of that single track we were on. Very, very different feeling bikes, just geometry-wise, at least for me.
With the kind of the position, like, you said you sit into the KTM. I like that. So I think it's funny, and I do feel like I sit more in the KTM. I sit more on top of the Beta, and kind of depending on the riding, it makes a big difference in which one, which I really prefer. But I think when you start like looking at the ergonomics on them, kind of affect the handling to a certain extent, where the KTM doesn't feel as stable, but I was blown away by how stable it was.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of, you hear people talk about, oh, the frame's too stiff and there's all this stuff. Not on the 2-strokes. And I asked a few people that really know, and they're like, I don't know why they're complaining about the 2-stroke. And I didn't know, because I've ridden the XC, the 250 and 300 XC previous to this. And I didn't feel it there. That was on a motocross track. And on this bike, I didn't feel any sort of stiffness problems. And I think it's just like people hear things and then they get it in their brains. I don't know where you feel that bike is, quote, stiff.
I don't know where anybody would get that. I mean, I'm coming from the perspective of not having ridden an Austrian 300 since the pre-TPI days. But yeah, I mean, it felt buttery smooth out there. It was pretty wild compared to some of the older KTMs I've thrown a leg over. And
for everybody, let them know what you currently ride.
A very unsuitable off-road bike. I have a 2011 Honda CRF 450R that got the desert treatment, Trail Tech kickstand, big tank, 18-inch rear wheel, just the regular off-road mods.
So you are coming from a stiff chassis.
Very rigid chassis that has no business on the trails that we were riding, but...
And it's those kind of rocks and stuff that we have a lot of trails that are very rocky, the loose kind of rocks that'll deflect, and that's where a stiff chassis generally deflects bad. I mean, it hits certain things and then it just lets go, and neither of these bikes really did that. The Beta just felt the stuff that you were hitting a little bit more in the front, and I think we could play with some ride height and play with the fork clickers, which we didn't. I didn't feel the need. I mean, we're riding powder snow some of the time. I was going to try to pull a couple video clips and throw them out there. We'll save that for the video. But, so handling, I think they're different flavors, but they're both getting better. Because I have a 2019 KTM, and that bike makes my KTM feel heavy and kind of like more like the Beta, more kind of cantankerous, even though compared to the old, back in 2019 we did this comparison, the Beta felt a lot lighter than my bike, even though it was heavier. So Beta really hasn't changed weight that much. It's gained just a little bit. They put a counterbalancer in the motor, so there's little things like that. Fuel mileage, fuel economy. So the only thing I can tell you about this is Trevor kept some notes and stuff, and the Beta is always using a little bit more fuel, and it's like, so if you use a gallon in the KTM, you'll use 1.1 gallon in the Beta. And so I think it's the difference between fuel injection and carburation, but not in the way you think. I think if you put a catch container, because I've done this before, you put a catch container on the vent hoses of the carburetors, you would find that amount of gas in the catch hoses. That's kind of like what's spilling out of the carburetor, because and they're both oil injected, which is awesome. Other than I can't see.
That was weird.
It is full.
On the
it was
KTM.
full. I checked it, and it takes 800 cc's, and so we think on the KTM the sensor is going bad in the oil injector thing. I talked to somebody at KTM today. They said it's not a problem, which means maybe they've heard about it before, but I don't know. But anyways, so I'm gonna order another one of those. I'm gonna get that cleaned up. And so because the light was coming on and off, so I tried to fill it up. I only put 200 cc's in. I'm like, well, that's not low enough to need to do this. But the Beta, it's under. You can at least see the Beta one under the tank. You can see the KTM under where the fill spout.
Yeah, if you get a mirror and crouch down,
and you can see if you've got if you get a red oil or something in there, something that you can see it, and you could say, okay, there's enough in here. But I love oil injection. It just takes the hassle out. You can pull it at the gas station and don't have to worry about mixing, and it works really good in my opinion. The some of the other things. So the light switch in the KTM is also a little funky. It's a kind of new. It looks like a new ergonomic high tech light switch is compared to the old plunger.
Yeah, I was looking for a plunger and couldn't find it.
Yeah, I think it's broken also. It has some stuff. So I'm kind of curious about the quality. So when I was talking to KTM, I said, hey, can I tear this thing apart? And they're like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm gonna get a top end, because they recommend the top end at 40 hours. So our bike will have 50 hours on it by the time I get around to it, and I'll just take it apart so I can learn and look and see if the build quality has changed, because it's been a few years since I've done this. This is what we do at dirt bike tests. We don't just shit out another test after 30 minutes of riding it around, just enough time to get 10 good photos and then post it on our website and have a bunch of pictures and say, yay, look at us, we rode this bike. Yeah. So I think we'll probably have some questions on this. But Gronk is having fun with the Dakar Fantasy Derby. Oh, Jesse forgot to plug his own gambling site.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they have a you can pick. It's like a fantasy league.
Nice.
So let's see. Let's see, where are we at? Will there be a V-Strom 800D review on dirt bike test anytime soon? I don't know. I haven't really. We have some Suzukis in our stable of bikes, but Ron, I don't know. I wouldn't mind riding one. Lowbrow. Hey Jimmy, speaking of torque specs, I was looking at the manual for my 03 YZ250. Let's see. So that was chiseled into stone, right?
Something like that.
Okay, so
steel frame.
Yeah. And it shows the front axle being something like 71 foot-pounds. Would you actually tighten it that much?
What's a torque spec?
It's 71 foot-pounds. But
I said, what's a torque spec?
Oh, what is it? Oh, no. You need to know what a torque is. Yeah. I don't know. If that's what they recommend, that's where I would start. And the rear axle and stem were insanely high as well. So what I'll tell you is the Yamahas that I have received lately that have been prepped by Yamaha, they take them and they prep them before they give them to media and stuff like that. The axles have been ridiculously tight. And so I've never really checked the torque spec, to be honest with you, on those. The Yamaha seem like they work well enough where I don't go into to torquing tuning, which I do on Hondas all the time. But if that's where it is, that's where I'd start with. And then if I wanted to make a change and adjustment, I wanted to flex a little bit more, maybe I'd lighten some of that stuff up. But yeah, that's it. They probably didn't come loose then. And Ron D. Moyer says, what's your 90s rally Beamer weight with full tanks of gas? 420 pounds. Yeah, full tanks of gas. No, it might have been more. I think the quote empty weight was 420. You can look up the specs of that thing someplace. Like if you search BMW 900RR factory rally bike, there is someplace that gives you that information. And Motorsport says, I like dirt bikes in the 240 to 250 range. They are so much more stable in rock gardens. I used to ride lots of 125s in the woods, and deflection was an issue. Excellent point. Because when bikes start getting light, like when you go from a 2-stroke to a 4-stroke, you lose some of that kind of mass. And even I see it mostly when we're working with like beginner riders and they hop on a heavy bike and they feel really comfortable, and they hop on a light bike and they're all of a sudden they're twitchy and they don't like it because it's responding really quickly to what they're doing, where the heavy bike doesn't. The heavy bike, once they get it moving, is very, very stable. On this, when you get up in that 240, 250, 260 range, especially with bikes with a lot of power, the motor inertia plays into that, and it helps keep them going straight, where you get on like a 252 stroke, a light one like a Yamaha, and they can get kind of dancy. And it's just, I think you get used to it, because end result, there's enough inertia at 200 pounds to kind of mostly keep you going. It's just every little bit of pound, it just exponentially, as it starts moving, it's harder to change its direction to a certain extent. So yeah, let's see. Motorsports, that's one of the reasons I prefer a 250 XCW over my 200 XC in nasty terrain, says Gronk. And Jason Abb, I definitely noticed a difference after 10 hours on my 2023 300 XC. What difference did we make? Chain Slayer is the Dakar game site, by the way. So everybody thinks I need to take Adderall because this show goes all over the place. I'm just reading your comments.
Yeah, you have notes.
I have notes.
Organized.
Yeah. Ever ride into the Reju 200 300s? I have ridden the 300, but I rode it when it was a gas. So I haven't ridden the actual Reju one, but I rode the gas that is basically the exact same thing. And I don't know if they've changed much. What are the country of origin of the Beta and KTM? I've heard KTM is going to China next year. So, yes, KTM has announced that they're going to move some of their production to China. If you want to listen to episode 214, Quinn Cody was on the show, and he talked about it. Me and him talked about it lightly. We can talk about it a little bit. But they're not going to start producing they're not going to start assembling any of the higher level KTMs in China currently, from what Quinn was aware of. They're going to definitely start doing more manufacturing there, pieces and stuff. But I think you would be surprised at how much stuff is already produced there anyways. You fools watching the bike weight, and your fat ass is 260 pounds. Victor, I'm not 260 pounds, fool. Yeah. Jimmy Campbell, sometimes I like a 500 in rock gardens, but the 2-stroke is definitely less fatigue. That makes perfect sense. And I feel the non-race edition baited forks have a lot of stiction. The harshness is pronounced if you don't run proper rear sag, and then somewhere around 50 hours, there's no more internal anodizing.
Interesting.
That is interesting. That's in the olden days, that could have been a little bit more common. I haven't put 50 hours on a Beta, but we had a 2013, and we stripped that thing down to the frame and tore everything apart, and it wasn't bad at all. But again, if you ride the bike for 50 hours without changing the fork oil, which people do, you can expect that. I would, on a Beta, I'll just tell you, service the suspension after about 10 hours. And so we're past that right now. Actually, not on our shock, because so I was complaining about the KTM, the light and the button. Our Beta, the problem we had on our Beta was someone tried to adjust the spring preload and got happy with it and actually unscrewed the shock body because they were hitting on it so hard and the rings weren't separating, and they unscrewed. So I have some. I'll do some tech tips on that and show you how to make that not happen or how to be aware of it to be smarter. So yeah.
What do you think without having ridden the race edition? Do you think the KYB forks are going to make a world of difference?
So Trevor raced a 250 RR this weekend. There's a nice video. I don't know if he put it on Dirt Bike Test. I know he put it on his own personal site. But he said not a big difference, like in frame feel and stuff like that. As far as suspension, he's going fast, and he thinks everything's too soft, everything on the trail riding side. So this bike was too soft for him. And he said that one was also with the Kayaba forks was too soft. And he didn't make any comments like, oh, the Kayabas was so much better or anything like that. So I don't know that it's that much better. I don't think it's going to be that much better. And when Jason Abbott was talking about that, he said that the frame feel was better after 10 hours. So our bike definitely has 10, I think, like I said, has 30 some odd hours on it now. And I did not feel on the KTM any frame rigidity issues. Jennifer Morton says, I had two Betas and both shocks came apart while adjusting sag. Well, your ham-fisted husband decided to not do it properly, so he should watch some of my videos. That's what I'm just going to say. Because you didn't adjust the sag, did you, Jen? Are you beating the shit out of your shocks? Okay.
5-pound mallet.
Yeah, so you like the Beta better. So if you were going to buy one, you'd buy a Beta.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It depends on what I would want to do with it. If I wanted to maybe go race it, I think I would go with the Beta. I'm a retired B-class mid front pack guy. I'm not a fast guy by any means.
Hair scrambles too.
Hair scrambles in the Northeast. I'm
right.
from New Jersey, raced up there. But if I were to go with one of those two bikes, I would go with the Beta, which is surprising because the last Beta that I rode, which was, probably close to 10 years ago, hated the thing.
Huh.
But very, very different machine, and that's where I'd put my money.
It's funny because so the one thing that I liked about the Beta, one thing I really liked is we started playing with the power valve, and you could kind of tune the power a little bit. You know, you could kind of move the hit around, like where it kind of really started coming on, and I can't do that with a KTM. And I was talking to somebody about the two different maps, the green and the white map, and they're not aggressive and less aggressive. They're kind of two different things. One has more over rev, and the one with more over rev is the one that I felt like had more hit, kind of where I was bringing on. But it believe it or not, it kind of has this little thing where it sort of learns what you're doing. It kind of depends on the rate of RPM and stuff. So they don't. It made sense when he explained like how they're sort of set internally to how they were working. It made sense to me, but I am pissed off that I cannot adjust the power valve on that thing. That now electronically they don't have a little app, and I found a place that has some tunability. That I'm going to contact them shortly and try to get a tuner that I can do some of this stuff. But that is like it really bothers me. But I think I would still get that, knowing that I would go with the KTM, knowing that if I could get the ability to quickly flash tune the ECU and make that thing into whatever I wanted, because it's a little too, we started talking about the power. The funny thing is the KTM, it's like I said, it's not slow, but when you turn the throttle, it's almost like a freaking electric bike.
Yeah.
The throttle response is insane, but it doesn't snap or pull. It pulls, but it doesn't bark or lunge.
Yeah.
It just all of a sudden it's like, okay, more power, and the more you want, just keep turning it farther. So, that was the one thing, but I probably go, and I love PDS suspension. I really, really like PDS suspension, especially since there's no linkage hanging down. Because I like hopping over stuff that's stupid. So let's see. I have a 2019 YZ450X. What are your thoughts on trying the Jimmy map on it? Well, if you're Jimmy, yeah, I had a map that it's probably called. They name the maps after whoever. If you send it to somebody, I had a map for that bike. I think it was more for is it YZ? No, but it was for YZ, not X. I had some X maps. I know this. If you're Jimmy, it's the best map. That I know this.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best map. But you're Tony, and I think you might need a Tony map. But here's the thing. You can start with a Jimmy map, and then you can kind of play around with it and make it different or better.
Yeah, I mean, with that Yamaha Power Tuner app, super simple, right?
Right there. Almost sound like an ad read. That's awesome.
Almost.
Yes, it is the best thing about the Yamaha 4-strokes is the ability to just be able to go in and kind of. This is why I get pissed off at other brands now for not allowing you to do that, because now Kawasaki does. Kawasaki's on the bandwagon with this. Honda kind of was with they had the ability to do it, but it wasn't free. It was expensive. But KTM just completely. They tried a couple of years ago to bring some sort of a dashboard thing and all, and they just clipped it. They do not want you tuning their bikes or gases or Huskies, and I'm gonna try to figure out a way around that. Victor says, "Why did you?" He's talking to you. He says, "Hey Ryan, why did you choose the CRF 450R for desert riding?"
I didn't choose the CRF 450R for desert riding. It chose me, Victor. I actually at the time
Victor is a Honda guy.
Victor's a Honda guy, right on. Big Honda guy. I actually had I was on Blue Crew, had a YZ250 FX when I lived in Vegas, and tried to use it like a dual sport. Got it street legal, riding on the highway up to Apex or Mount Charleston, wherever, and blew the crank up. Doesn't like highway speeds. Ended up getting rid of that bike after I rebuilt it, and didn't have a full-size bike for a while. I had my little Honda 110, to get my fix in, but this was around like mid-2020 maybe. Wanted a brand new 450 RX and could not find one. Had to get on a wait list. Wasn't having it. And this 2011 popped up with next to 0 hours on it for a steal. I had a 2010 CRF 250R that I raced hare scrambles on back east, and loved that bike. That's the stink bug bike, the Catapult bike that nobody liked.
Right.
I loved it for racing off-road. Figured I'd pick this thing up, turn it into a desert bike, and I think now it has maybe a total of about 30 hours on it, and it's fun. I got the Recluse Radius CX in it. It's a little more off-road friendly, but still not not a KTM 300 XCW or Beta 300RR by any means.
Yeah, and but it's like just like a lot of us. Like not me, I'm special. I actually can't afford new bikes because I have 70 old ones. So. It's your time. It's what you can afford. It's what fits into the program and everything. So Victor is kind of that same thing. He's a Honda guy as well. I know he has a lot of shit. I mean he's got some really beat up bikes. So he's probably gonna make an offer on your bike here real soon.
Hey, I mean everything's for sale.
John Carell says, "Do you think more 300 2-strokes will dominate desert over 350 4-strokes?" That's an interesting. I don't think there's a competition between those two bikes really in the desert.
I'm new out here, so this is for you.
Well, I mean, it's like in the desert, you just want the biggest, baddest. So 300 right now is the biggest, baddest in the 2-stroke for what you can just easily buy, and then you're looking at 450s and 500s, kind of things for the so the 350 kind of fits in that sort of middle ground, and it's more. It's in a kind of a category by itself, but I think, boy, I mean, like desert racing, would I want to? I mean, there's no reason why I would want a 350 when I can have a 450, four-stroke kind of a thing, and then when I go 350 versus a 450 versus 300 2-stroke, it's like, do I like a 2-stroke or do I like a 4-stroke? It's that simple. I think you're going to have more performance out of a 4-stroke just. All the time, longer power band, more power, lot. I don't want to say drivability anymore. It used to be drivability, with the four-stroke had so much more drivability than two-strokes. So there's a high strung, but like the power bands in these things almost never end.
No.
They just they with the power valve control they have now and the way the jetting's gotten better and everything. I think it's do you want a two-stroke or a four-stroke? And if you want, the 350 four-stroke, is it going to feel as light as a 300 two-stroke? So now if we get into the weight feel part of the game, I think that the four-stroke at low RPMs, no. The four-stroke at low RPMs might feel a little heavier.
Yeah, but out wide open desert. I mean, if you're talking Works or National Hare and Hound, do you even notice that?
The weight feel of the bike.
Yeah.
It's more, the weight feels more related to how much power the bike's putting out. So, but I think they're kind of on similar levels. I mean, I think peak power is probably kind of the same, but I wonder if you'd feel the weight of the four-stroke, which isn't that much more. I mean, you're talking probably maybe 3 to 5 pounds more. It's a good. I think it's you like two strokes or four strokes, and then make the decision there. But they're not going to dominate anything. Mike from Rally Navigator says Rally Navigator supports Tech Talk. Sent my big time sponsor money.
Checks in the mail.
Really? I don't know if I got the. I'm gonna have to check the mail. The checks in the mail. It's an FX. Yeah, I got that, Tony. I saw that. YZ450X, and I figured with the X on the end of it. So, hey, it's about that time where we usually take a short little break, but I'm going to tell you, when we come back, we're going to talk. We got a lot of Honda Transalp questions. We have some regular.
Oh, yeah. Got pages.
We have regular questions, and then we will do the always amazing, brought to you by tacomoto.co, Roost or Endo. So get ready, strap in. Take a pee, then strap in for the next exciting hour of this amazing show.
The defending champion, the all-new Yamaha YZ450F.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you'll know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it, to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
And we are back. I'll put the mic in front of my face here. Best question tonight gets a Fasst Company care package prize. So if you have a good question, put it in the chat. We will get to it. We always like your questions. That's what the show is about. It's where you get to answer your motorcycle product related questions. An update on the Tech Talk Taco t-shirts. Remember how it took a long time to get the order form built for ordering the t-shirts? Well, it's taking a similar amount of time for me to get those t-shirts produced. So I'm actually going to look at someone that's going to print them out, because Jerry made such an awesome design that it has a lot of colors in it, and it's very complex. So there's a lot of different ways to get it printed, and I could get it printed to the same level that Jerry did, and then it would cost me like $5 each for every t-shirt we had. So we're working on it. It's don't worry, I'm not like the fake scam sites that are no, not that. I am getting it done, and you will get your Tech Talk Taco t-shirt, Tuesday t-shirt, again limited edition. Thank you everybody joining. And as a bonus, I'm gonna drop extra cool stuff into some of the boxes. Just
cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some. I have some DBT t-shirts, and we have some stickers, and just there's different things. I got some Jimmy Lewis off-road. www.jimmylewisoffroad. You want to become a better rider?
I do.
Well, we helped you. You did come to the class.
I was shocked.
Really?
Yeah, had 20-something years of riding dirt bikes, racing, doing well. Got some plaques on the wall, and showed up thinking, it was a basic rider course.
No, it wasn't.
What is this going to do for me?
It's the most basic class, and I'll try to say this.
It's putting it lightly.
Yeah, okay. Hold on a second.
As advanced as you can possibly make it.
Right on. I got it.
Oh, here, I'll join you.
Yeah. Okay, so welcome to hour 2 of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Thank you, Ryan, for helping me with my plug. It's the most advanced class you can take. We have a couple classes. We have one coming in February. We have an all-women's class, by the way, coming up in March. And then in April, we have another regular class going. So thanks for everybody for supporting us.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, check it out. It really, and I'm just patting myself. I have my pat myself on the back machine here. I've been doing it for over 20 years now, and we spent a lot of time just learning how to teach the stuff that you may have kind of left out in your. And we even saw this when we were just.
Oh yeah.
we were testing 300s like 300s need to be tested. I said, hey, let's go do a little quote hard enduro.
A little, yeah.
It got a little hard, but it was all about traction. It was places to test the power, and it's kind of funny because it's just places where you couldn't use speed and momentum. All of a sudden, you had to really feel the traction and all that stuff. And I wanted to kind of see how the bikes perform differently there, because that's what 300s are kind of known for. And so, yeah, we rode them in the snow and rode them in the slick rocks and loose rocks and up and down ledges, and it was good times. Yep. So, yeah, thanks for joining it. Now, I got the t-shirt thing out of the way. We are going to go. Should we do Rooster Endo right now?
We could. We've got them all lined up.
Okay, let's go straight into Rooster Endo, brought to you by Taco Moto. That's tacomoto.co. Rewind the tape about 4 minutes, and you can listen to Mike talk about what tacomoto.co is. Anyways, when we decided who we were going to go with Dylan first.
Yeah, we're going with Dylan.
Okay, so here's how we typically do this in the show. Okay. I got to tell people how this works. So Rooster Endo is a segment that we invented where you send us a picture of your bike. I like a good picture. You send us a picture of your bike, and you tell us about the bike. Now, you can tell us about the bike however you'd like, and then we will discuss your bike. And the bike that brings us the most enjoyment, and we will decide in the end. We will just drop the hammer, and we'll say whether it roosts or endos, and there's no in between. It roosts, which is good, or it endos, which is bad. And then the one that gives us the most enjoyment, you get a $100 gift certificate from Taco Moto. Yeah,
nice.
Hey, it's not a lot, but it's $100 more than you had when you sent the picture in with the description. So let's start with who's our our first one up. If I can get my thing over here.
First up, we've got Dylan.
Dylan. Okay.
We have
It's a Honda.
It's a red bike.
It's a red
I
bike.
like red bikes. It's good. We're off to a good start.
Okay.
We'll save judgment for the end. 2022 Gas EX250 TPI. Looks like Dylan had a suspension revalve, an FMF factory fatty with a turbine core 2 silencer, a Cherubies VSL headlight with True North Moto's wiring harness, Enduro Engineering handguards, a TM design skid plate, and I think this bleeds onto the next page, idle screw mod, whatever that is.
So that's So that's a solid looking. Not a Honda. Honda doesn't make 2-strokes anymore.
Boo! Wish they would.
Well,
broke my heart in 2007.
So I'm gonna say that this bike just bleeds northeast.
It does. It does. The only thing that's got me concerned, it looks like open-ended Enduro Engineering handguards.
Yeah, but that's kind of a big thing that a lot of times I'm trying to think of. There's a lot of guys that are kind of afraid of the wraparounds, and so they kind of want the open-ended handguards and stuff. So we actually had a question about that on one of the other shows. Like, and I mean, we were talking about it. Like, I've never really seen anything. I mean, I've heard of it.
I've heard of it too.
But it's just
slip through the handguard, break the wrist.
Yeah, but I think it's more of it happens way less than you think. And I mean, I had to make the decision. Like, I was desert racing and I was running with wraparounds, and they're like, "Oh, you're crazy." And I'm like, "Well, if my bike tips over, crashes, or in my case would cartwheel." And I didn't crash that much, but when I did, it was spectacular. I needed to have my throttle and my clutch and brake working when I got back up, so I went with wraparounds. But yeah, good point. I need to talk to the Enduro Engineering guys. They were helping out dirt bike tests in the early days of dirt bike tests back in 2014. But I like the bike. Of all of the KTM TPI bikes, the best one I ever rode was a gas. And it was funny because we rode it at an intro, and I came back and I said, "Hey, what did they do different to this bike?" And they're like, "Nothing, it's the same." And I'm like, no, there's something different. And they're like, "No." And come to find out, it actually had a different ramp in the power valve. This is on the mechanical power valve, the older one. And I mean, it took a lot of digging to find that out. Like they, and because they do want to make those brands all a little bit different, even though they're all kind of built in the same place-ish, factory kind of thing. But they do like to make them different. But this bike, it screams Northeast, and not just because I see the D. It's a what DNR? That's a DNR looking sign. It's not like a Forest Service sign. It looks a little bit different for some reason to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Let me see if I can.
Headlight on an EX. Maybe try and sneak into a plated bike enduro.
Yeah, I don't know where
Throw your Honda Goldwing plate on the back and see what happens.
Where exactly it is, but yeah, just kind of like taking a look around there. Okay, so I like the for sure. I'm trying to put this back on the screen, playing with buttons here. I like pretty much everything about this bike. It, because I'm not a big graphics guy.
Not me either.
as you can see with some of my rides and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get on him for his photo. Like, this is what I call a condescending photo.
Condescending, all right.
Right, because he's talking down. He's taking a picture down on his motorcycle.
Okay.
And I want to see, if you look at guys that know what they're doing, like guys with we used to say like real photographers. Now it's like, look at some Instagrammers, and they're all doing these low angles and get some different things. But I kind of want to go riding there. It looks like he's there either early in the morning, late in the afternoon. He's got a good headlight, so late in the afternoon I'm not bothered. Go out and still rip around with the light on and everything like that. The ground looks like it's fairly moist. I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But the photo is talking down to the motorcycle. Your partner, you're going to go ride.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can see past that. If I squint, it looks just like my 2011 CRF 450.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did call it a Honda there. So
yeah, if I squint, it looks very familiar.
Okay.
Love seeing a red front fender. That might be another reason why I like that Beta 300 more. We were talking about earlier.
If the photo were nicer, it'd be a full roost, straight across roost. But I'm gonna go. So where are you going?
Oh, I'm going roost.
Roost. Okay. I'm going to do a roost also because I've seen other photos that we have, and this one is better because it's actually on the dirt.
Oh, you weren't supposed to look at these.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't cheat. So okay, Dylan, that's a roost for you there. What is the? Hold on a second. What is the board? It's a clean, not all that cluttered up. Mark Daniel says it's a roost. I should just include Mark in all of our comments now because he's a loyal, like full top fan, loyal listener,
Nice.
and he knows the shtick. He understands how this works. He usually gives a pretty good, like he says, it's not all clean, not all cluttered up, and it's a roost. And that bike looks effective.
Oh yeah.
And I do like an effective dirt bike. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna overlook your photo because the photo was effective too. It gave us a picture of the bike and it worked, like all the other ones, but not as bad. So, okay. Mark Shane says the new TSP, new ERM can adjust the power valve on the TBI bikes. Mark, you are correct, and that is one of the things I'm investigating currently. What 100 tacos? I hope you show my old Berg. Wait, 100
There
tacos.
might be an old bird.
Did we offer 100 tacos instead of $100?
100 tacos, $100. I mean, either way is a pretty good deal.
If you can get dollar tacos.
Taco prices have gone up.
Hey.
$100 for 100 tacos is a smoking deal.
Hey, when I started this, we started at Taco Tuesday at Ramiro's restaurant, and tacos were $1. So yeah, you could
Missed
get
out on that.
when we started this show, you could get 100 tacos. Okay, what's next?
What's next? We have Kelly,
Kelly.
my old Berg.
Oh boy. Yeah, hello. Hey, Husaberg. Yeah.
Have
hold
it.
on. Where's the bell?
Uh-oh.
Okay, got it.
Have a FE 570 as well. Fun. And I think that's it.
That's light on the description. Although,
Unless I'm missing a page. I think that's it, though.
we give people a lot of shit. So we're looking at, and it's funny because we got to describe these because this is an audio format. So we're
I don't
looking
even know
at.
what I'm looking at.
I don't blame you for not knowing what you're looking at. This is super old school Husaberg. So he didn't give us any information. What does the information say again?
This is verbatim. My old Berg.
Okay, so old. I'm gonna go with 2002. He may be in. That's my Berg. Ask away. Oh well, no. You're disqualified from commenting, but you can put stuff up in the chat because I can't wait for the 15 to 30 second delay to get this information in. I'm gonna go with 02 to 06 Husaberg. He's made it black. I think it's because that's probably the only color plastics that you might be able to get because this stuff is impossible to get. It has a giant gas tank, and Husaberg literally copied old factory Hondas with this gas tank. You know, we're talking like the 1980s factory Hondas. The gas tank wrapped down around and went really low into the frame where you see it covers up. It goes almost to the countershaft sprocket. They had to have a fuel pump in there.
Huh.
They had a pressure activated fuel pump that would pump the gas back up to the carburetor. The air filter on this bike is on the frame backbone, so underneath the safety seat. And wait a minute. You guys took this off Facebook. I did not send it. Now he wants me to send him tacos as ransom. Yeah, you put it in a post that said something about Rooster Endo, and I harvested it. So this bike, I remember I saw the very first one of these at the ISDE in Germany. The very first time they kind of publicly showed the Husabergs, and it was amazing because like a 4-stroke was an XR 250, you know, a big giant air cooled thing, and all of a sudden you're seeing
Beautiful
these like
machine.
lightweight 4-strokes, hydraulic clutch. I don't think they were electric start back then. Kelly can correct me. I think this one is kickstart only, and it kicks on the left.
That sounds fun.
But I will tell you what, the leaky freaky thing he calls it. Well, we're not going to put that in the comments because it didn't come in there. So again, here's how you submit your entry: your make, model. This is important because I can't just make this shit up. Your make, model, a nice photo of your bike, not a Kelly. I have to tell you, this is another condescending photo of your motorcycle. This motorcycle rewards you with amazing power. Like not as much as my 650, but it probably makes a lot. What it was is a 501. That's like the most ideal size for all around performance is their 500cc ones. The 650s just made ridiculous power, more than most humans ever need. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty well kept. Nice bike, condescending photo. Let's see, it's a Husaberg, so I should probably just go with Roost, right? So I don't get in trouble. My computer just died. This one, hopefully the other one doesn't go away. It's a Husaberg has to Roost. Husaberg has to Roost. Husaberg has to. Okay, Roost. Why does it say Dylan when it's Kelly?
Because we put these out of order. Dylan is
Oh, okay.
We're flip flopped a little bit here, so
right. Oh, I see what happened. It's the on my screen. I pushed the wrong button. So okay, we're back. We're running. Great motor. Yes, 501. Endo didn't follow the rules. Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
I mean, if it's not following the rules, I mean, you got to go with Endo. I know you're partial to Husabergs, but
there's
got rules for a reason, Jimmy.
It roosts because of Husaberg.
All right, we'll agree to disagree.
Okay, 2 endos and a roost, and but you broke every freaking rule I had, and just the fact that it says Husaberg on it and there's real Husaberg. Yeah. Okay. So thanks, Kelly. Thanks for not sending that in. And my old ass Berg killed your PC. This is probably true.
Too much power.
Yeah, it sucks power. They suck. You stand next to them,
hole,
and they suck power out, so they can push it out when you're riding it. They're just like it's like the ultimate like renewable energy source. Like that's why Husabergs are so good, because they're so forward thinking in everything they did, that a Husaberg can suck the power out of my PC just by having the picture on the screen, and then it can deliver when you go out and ride. So I said it here first. The original hybrid of motorcycles, Husabergs.
There you go.
Let's see. Gronk says the 501 Berg is a roost because it's more than one. It's one more than a KTM 500.
One more.
And every KTM 500 is born out of a Husaberg.
Is that true? That's factual. I believe it.
It's absolutely factual that KTM bought Husaberg for the technology. It was easier, instead of trying to reinvent what Husaberg had already done, they did. And you might call bullshit and this stuff. Just do your research, and don't do it on YouTube. There's actually one guy who did a fairly accurate. There's like 5 guys that tried to tell the story of Husaberg, and they each had little points and stuff, but none of them are accurate. And most of the stuff that I say is, it's fairly accurate, but it gets, as I get faster, they get better. So okay. I never start at the same time as my 570 Berg because it might disrupt the rotation of the Earth. A lot of torque. Kelly, leave these lines up to me, okay? Like, I'm the one that invented like why Husabergs make hoop-de-doos and how they do it.
How do they do it?
Oh, you don't know this?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you know how most hoop-de-doos are created because they start as like little ripples, and then as the tires hop, they hop in there, and then it kind of spits the dirt out and stuff like that. Well, like when you get to those big rolling hoop-de-doos, I've ridden on that trail, and the reason it happened is because I got a little bit farther ahead, and I gassed my Husaberg, and I did this on the 570. It was before I had the 650. I would just get on the gas on my 570. I'd roll into it pretty hard, and you know how when you hit the carpet and you push it backwards and it crinkles up? That's what happens to the Earth.
Oh man,
you didn't know this?
No, I didn't know you used to ride in New Jersey.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. Well, it affects a lot of places. Like you could do it here in Nevada, and it might cause some hoop-de-doos down in Arizona. It just depends on the tidal shifts. There's has something to do with the moon.
Science.
A couple different things.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard about that.
Now you know. I need that ding-ding-ding. I'm gonna get that sound effect when I stop going riding. I'm going riding tomorrow, by the way. I got going out with another buddy on the 300s. While you're at work, busy working at Revzilla, making things better. I will be making my life better by riding a couple 300s with my buddy Wayne, who I let him ride some of my dirt bikes and stuff, and magically cows that have been butchered into nice meat show up at my house.
Oh, it's beautiful. I want to know if he makes it up that hill I got stuck on.
I won't take him there. Okay, who's our next contestant?
Oh, we've got Dave Donnelly from the chat.
Dave, another guy that not really sure. He may have he may have submitted this bike a long time ago, and it may have been on the show before, but I don't remember. So you're gonna enjoy the fact that we've got it here on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, episode 2016 million.
2016 million. All right, here we go. Dave's 2017.
You got to see the chat right now. Kelly's not taking his Husaberg to Hollister tomorrow. He's not taking it to Hollister tomorrow because Hollister sits on a fault line.
It's a dangerous game, Kelly.
Yeah, exactly.
From what I've heard about
Kelly used to work at Trail Tech, so I know
nice.
him pretty well. Yeah,
from what I know about Husabergs from my past 10 minutes of education, it sounds like a risky move.
Oh, I'll let you ride the 650 sometime.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's an experience.
Let me hit the gym for a little bit.
Yeah, you're not going to ride it for that long because it's a ticking time bomb. This is the other thing about Husabergs that I will openly disclose. Like, they're great to ride. They're horrible to work on. And the older ones, like the one that Kelly just put up and stuff like that, not only horrible to work on, you can't get parts for them, and they blow up. They grenade. Yeah, big time. Okay.
Fun stuff.
Back to Dave.
Back to Dave. Dave's 2017 KTM 500 EXCF. It has a Taco Moto full fuel pump, filter regulator rebuild.
Good on Dave for following the rules. Year, make, model, all included. And he sent a photo in, so we're that's 2 strikes avoided.
We're ahead of the curve here. Filter regulator rebuild, Taco tail tidy, double take mirror, seat concept seat, pro taper bars, and rear sprocket, custom wheel balancing weights, Metzler medium hard tires, Trail Trick suspension by Javier Gonzalez.
Okay, so this looks like every other KTM 500 you would ever see ever in the world, right?
It does. It looks pretty common.
Remember back in the day when you go to the track or the trail and all you'd see was Hondas?
Yeah.
Whether it was XRs out in the trails or it was CRs at the tracks, and it was just Honda. This is where we're at with KTMs. This is why KTM bought 2 other brands, so they could make red ones and white ones. This is a standard issue motorcycle, and as Jason Abbott says, and I appreciate this, Jason, is Dave's bike in the yard at the local jail.
It's in the impound.
Yeah,
Got caught doing wheelies down Main Street.
Well, look, you need a 6-foot high fence around here if you don't want the tweakers coming in, and especially if you don't like shooting people, because that's how you get them out. You need to put your bike in kind of a little bit of a jail. But yeah, it looks that way. Another condescending photo on the motorcycle.
A little bit.
The problem is next time I'm going to get a bunch of drain plug shots.
Yeah, I'm self-conscious now. I take pictures of the bike when I go out riding, and I'm going to have to go scroll through and see if they're condescending or not.
Right, yeah. So you learn something new on Tech Talk. It'll make you a better photographer. I do see a little, the good thing is he had the potential to grab some side light, but he kept it in the shade, but he's got some light highlights on it, which I don't think he intended. I think it was by mistake. But standard issue motorcycle. I like the attention to detail with the wheel weights, and that's something I never ever do. But I think this is very much like that gas that we looked at first, like Dylan's bike in the beginning. It's not flashy. It gets the job done. It's purposeful. Did he mention double take mirrors?
He did. He mentioned double take mirrors.
He did mention it. Good.
Double take mirror. I think maybe we only have one on there.
Singular.
You only need one.
Yeah. Good thing. Big sponsor, Double Take Mirror. So if you want a discount from Double Take Mirror, if you email me, I can send you a discount code. And they are a big supporter of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, even though they don't know that they're supporting it exactly. They didn't sign up for this contract. They signed up for another contract I didn't deliver on, so I moved them over into this. But if you are a sponsor looking at the show right now, we can work with you.
Right on. Yeah, double take mirrors, good stuff. I had
the chat room. Going to the chat room. Roost clean, follows the rules. It looks like it's in a dog pen.
It's a clean dog pen.
Viewership is up on this show. Asher Lito, I wish I knew where to see that because my computer died because we put a Husaberg on screen.
It's the beard, Jimmy.
And it's the beer.
It's the beard.
It's the beer. Oh, the beer.
Beard, both. It's both.
Are you a hipster? Like by trade or technique or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, because is that a hipster thing? Because I was a hipster before there was hipsters. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I had a rooftop tent on my truck before there were overlanders.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm kind of
Trendy.
pioneering.
Bit of a trendsetter.
I have no idea what I'm trendsetting anymore, except for. No, I'm not going to say that.
No, I don't think it's a hipster thing. I think it's I went bald in my early 20s and could grow a beard still. So that's where we're at.
Huh. I have the same thing, but I just give up on the beard after a little while. It's just, they're a pain in the ass.
No, you just rub some premix in it and
Okay.
dirt,
Got it.
whatever else.
Oh,
and
back
it's
to
good.
back,
Sorry.
Back to Dave's bike.
Back to Dave's bike.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Roost based on my principles. Other than I hate the photo. If there was a couple big dog turds in the photo, then I would definitely endo it. But I think the photo just barely qualifies as passable.
I want to agree with you, but I
just had to throw the picture of that Husaberg up there real quick again, one more time.
I want to agree with you, but I have one problem with the with Dave's 500.
Okay.
And it's the it's two things related to the same part, and he didn't call this out in his description here, but the Acerbi's rally handguards. For some reason, I don't like the way they look. They're very, very popular handguards,
right?
And I'm not a fan of them. They just, to me, look a little goofy. And they're angled down a bit. And I notice when anybody has rally handguards on their bike, they're always angled down a little.
It's funny because I think they get bent down, or they kind of they naturally want to sag that way. I don't know what it is, because I have them on a few of my bikes as well around here. That's just the standard issue. The thing is, you can buy that style of handguard all day long at Amazon for like $29, and you're gonna get a $29 handguard. I have a set of them on one of our rental bikes. I bought them just to see. That's the best inexpensive standard issue handguard, easy to mount, fits on everything that you can get. And then there's then you can go way up. There's lots of different ones and styles. But I'm really amazed that you just roosted him, endoed him for the handguards.
I mean, it's a very light endo.
We can't go light.
You didn't go full OTB, but it's a little bit of an endo.
Yep. Look for a newer photo, Dave says me. Well, if you would have submitted it properly, I had to dig into some kind of crazy back end part of our dirt bike test account to farm that thing out. Like, cause he kept telling me he sent it in, and he, I have an email address. You send it to the email address, and then I get it and I put it in a file. But okay, Dave, you got a two roosts and an endo from your new buddy Ryan.
Sorry, Dave.
You know what, Dave? This is what you could do, because I know you're on Facebook. Just go and blow him up on the Prump Riders Forum. Just let everybody know what he's really made of.
It's just business. Sorry, Dave.
Were there any business interests from Revzilla involved in that? He could go to Revzilla and get better handguards, right?
You could.
What are you? Okay, since you bagged on him, here's what we do. I don't like to complain without providing a solution.
Yes.
What handguard should he use?
I don't know if they'll fit on the 500 EXCF. So we're going purely off aesthetics.
Wind up the excuse-a-tron.
We're gonna reel it back a little bit. There's nothing functionally wrong with Acerbi's rally handguards, right? Which I believe those are.
Yes.
I just think that the plastic on the outside looks a little goofy.
Okay.
If we're gonna go with aesthetically pleasing wraparound handguards, I'm a big Cycra fan. I like either a ProBend CRM Ultra, or even the ProBend Series 1 that has the lower profile plastic guard on the front, similar to the Rebound.
I have some of those on some of my bikes as well.
Yeah. So that's the direction I would go in. But EXCF, lots of stuff up on the controls. Might need to go that direction to make them fit.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
So Dave, you know what you need to do? Just take advice from me, because it's always the best. It's free. You're getting what you pay for here. You might even win $100 at the end of this thing. Well, tell him to shove it, number one. And number two, if you're looking at your handguards while you're riding your motorcycle and having a really good time, tough on everybody else. That's what I like to say.
Fair enough. It's a good point.
I tell people all the time, it's like I don't look at my bike when I ride it. You have to. That's your problem. Same with my gear, because sometimes I wear mismatched gear or something like that. And they're like, dude, that gear, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, and most of the time it's climb gear. and it's just I've mismatched some colorways or something like that, and like, what are you doing? I
That's
go,
passable.
I'm so comfortable.
Yeah, you're good. Fox jersey, Thor pants, maybe a little
I don't mix too many brands, really. I like to, I'm not. I don't go that deep down into. I don't wear everything but my boots into McDonald's either. Before the ride. I don't wear my Thor jersey and my Fox pants into McDonald's before I'm going to go ride, at the local trail spot that's right around the corner from McDonald's. But anyhow, those Achirby's handguards just don't stay put, says Mark Daniels. X Factors for the win, which is another Achirby's ones. I'm running those on my WR, and even the OEM handguards with the wraparound edition work really well. Okay, that's from the Peanut Gallery. I'm sure Dave has fallen asleep by now. Who's our next lucky contestant?
It looks like we have Mitchell.
Oh boy.
Beautiful machine.
Yeah, Mitchell and his iPhone photo. This came in like 10 seconds after the post went out.
Is that a screenshot? Do I see the timestamp up top?
Yeah, like literally right after the post came in.
All right.
We got this. He's like, I'm gonna win.
That's one way to do it.
Okay, what do we got? What's Mitchell got?
A 2014 YZ250.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who makes that, but it's a 2014 YZ250. It's blue. Could be a Sherco.
Okay, so let me educate you a little bit about the show. The show is brought to you by Yamaha. So we praise everything that Yamaha does. If you send in a Yamaha, you almost automatically win. It's kind of known amongst our contestants. But and Yamaha, like, what year? 2023?
2014.
2014. The amazing thing is, like, that particular bike, you can still buy that bike. Actually, Yamaha makes a better one now that's almost exactly the same. If he had a 2024 YZ250X, it would be that and just better. Just a dominating machine. So thanks to Yamaha for supporting us and allowing us to talk crap on Yamahas and every other brand and just be, just dirt bike people. We're just bench racing. We're just a couple dudes sitting around talking about dirt bikes, and we're talking about Mitchell's bike right now. 338.
Love the Blue Crew.
You think he's a Jason Lawrence fan?
338, maybe.
Remember that guy?
I do.
Yeah.
J-Law 338, back on Instagram, back in the moto industry. Also love to see it.
I think he kind of came back and then disappeared really quick, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was a flash in the pans.
Yeah, no, I think he's
still around.
He'll stick around. I'm rooting for him.
Okay, what's the specs?
2014 Yamaha YZ250. We have an FMF pipe and silencer. Got Electron, flywheel weight, and suspension. Rips moto and trails. That sounds like a solid bike.
What else could you ask for? I mean, like literally
short and sweet.
Out of all the bikes, no one else claimed that their bikes rips, trails, and moto. And if you can only have one bike, you want your bike to do that.
Yeah.
My favorite bike on the motocross track, currently, right now. You want to guess?
I'm going to say it's blue.
Yeah, you saw it sitting out there.
It's a Yamaha.
It's a YZ125. And mine looks way worse than his. So I think he did this while he was driving home from work. He's probably in traffic, saw the post.
4:43. There's a timestamp on the screenshot. He was sitting in traffic.
Yeah, he's sitting in traffic someplace. I'm going to just look at the photo. It's really flat there, so I'm going to go that's like, I think Illinois? Where are we guessing? It looks it's
I don't know. I wish I could see the fender sticker. Might be able to narrow it down.
With you get the shop. Let me see if
northeast.
I can help you out there. Oh, really? You going north? Well,
maybe.
J-Law was definitely a East Coast mostly, right? So we're gonna kind of pull that in there and see if we can see what that fender says. We'll get a little closer at the bike. He didn't really give us the full list of stuff. Those are Cycler handguards, right?
They are. Yeah,
yep.
Those are the Stealth DX, I think.
That's an FMF pipe. Yeah. Looks like he's got some factory connection suspension. He could have done
factory connection. Got it going.
Hinson clutch cover on the side. Looks like a
Big
little
tank.
Larger tank. Yeah, he really didn't do a good job describing it.
Aftermarket wheels. I don't know what those are.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it got some wheels on that thing. I think he could have done a lot better.
Undersold it a little bit.
Yeah, describing it. So, bad on you. I can't see what power sports company that is. I wonder if he's in the chat. Here we go. Mark Daniels says, Roost, it will do all MX Desert Trail. So he's liking the versatility of this particular machine. I'm a little disgruntled by the description. That stand's seen some time. I've got a couple of those stands.
Oh, yeah.
That thing, it's sinking into the ground there. See, I'm looking at the dirt here and everything, and it just seems, I don't know why I can analyze this kind of crap, but it has that, like,
maybe
Midwest-ish, like it's soft. There's a little sand quality into the dirt there. The tires are holding a little bit of sand and stuff on it. And just based on the fact that he was driving home at 443, which probably was 543, he's got to be a little bit farther away from where we're at. And we're just, speculating. I mean, you think he has a job and everything. It's all good. The photo is less condescending. But I can't see much of the bike either. It was the only one he had in his phone while he was driving home.
It was the fastest one to get to. It was in favorites. Actually, it looks like that was in Snapchat, actually. You could see the little Snapchat widgets over on the right-hand side.
Oh, is he sending this photo to his other friends like that?
Yeah.
Kind of like a little something. I don't know about these different apps there. That's a Snapchat thing, huh?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Huh. It was
It's what all the kids are doing.
I wonder, now I'm curious, is this his bike? Or did he just grab it off the internet?
I don't know.
He's not.
It's on Snapchat.
Yeah.
He at least took the picture, probably.
Let's see. Roost, nice upgrades for the workhorse of a bike, and that's coming from someone he's competing against. That's coming from Motorsports, Kelly. SFB says means no riding for a while. I don't know what that means. SFB is usually San Felipe Bob. Well, he was a Yamaha guy as well. He used to race these things all the time. I'm going to go, because the photo quality of this episode was so low, and the fact that he responded quick, I'm going to go Roost on this one. And not just because it's a Yamaha. Okay, I know everybody's going to say I'm just a shill for all of our sponsors like they usually do.
I'm not sponsored by Yamaha, and I'm going Roost.
You're going Roost
because
also.
I've ridden bikes that are set up almost identically to that. And
Right.
I mean, for the kind of riding that I like to do, that's a hell of a bike.
Yeah. I think
Roost.
I think it's a good bike. Roost. Okay. Mitchell, you got a Roost. So,
Electron flywheel weight. I mean,
Oh, wait a minute. So Motorsport says that's a fail then, because you should always have piles of pictures of your bike.
yeah.
Yeah, I know this because he's like, he does. That's what he does. He takes lots of pictures of all of his bikes all the time. All bikes all the time. Okay.
That's why we ride, right? Go out and take scenic pictures. It's part of it.
I only ride for the gram these days.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. That's what they told me I'm supposed to do.
For likes, TikTok or whatever.
Right. For TikTok.
TikTok?
TikTok. It's a thing?
Yeah, it's what the kids are on. Snapchat and TikTok.
Okay.
I think.
I'll check into that. Logan's not here anymore to keep me abreast of that. He told me I needed to get on this thing called Grinder.
Oh. All right.
Like you said, that's where all the hardcore enduro riders go.
Nice.
Okay.
Have to look into that.
Next one.
Last but not least, I think this is last. We've got Victor.
Victor.
I think he's might also be in the chat. This thing's a unit. All right, so here we go. Full start time traveler machine, year 2000 something.
Okay.
Predator 212cc engine with 24 millimeter Mikuni carb. Yes, you read that right. Mikuni. Mikuni.
Mikuni.
I think that might be maybe an Amazon knockoff. Mikuni.
Right.
Bouncy carrot fat tires.
Right.
That allows you to be completely wasted with tequila and still reach your destination on sandy desert washes. This crotch rocket has more dirt miles than those Insta-influencer pumpkin Austrian machines have. Perfect bike to go from your marijuana grow to your crystal meth lab in the Antelope Valley. Cops don't even ask if you're plated at the Rosamond liquor store market. Panty dropper for sure. I mean, you can't argue with the truth, right?
No. So what we are looking at is, those bikes that you can buy they're like Coleman's or something.
Yeah,
You can buy them at Tractor Supply, right?
I've got one.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, the CT 200 something.
Do you do the gambler stuff on that thing?
I don't, but I thought about it.
I know some guys that are in that thing, but so this is one of those Coleman fat tire. No, he's got suspension on it though. Does yours
forks?
Does yours have forks?
It has forks, no rear suspension.
Okay,
but
so,
I mean the balloon tires basically they make up for it.
So and he has a fat seat that says something that I can't say out loud in my podcast that much.
I can't read it from here.
It looks like he's a fan of Ronnie Mack, by judging by
we could use context clues.
Right? Yeah, it's like I eat something. Anyways, everybody says that it's a winner on the chat. Oh boy, they have a picture of my half boot. What? A half. We love the pictures of your half boot. Not sure what that means, but it'll be explained later, I'm sure. Roost with that seat cover, says Jason Abbott. So, the best description of the night by far.
Oh yeah. Yeah, put some time into that, and I mean, there's some truth to it too. You know,
okay.
We have a motto. A lot of our friends had Colemans growing up, and the Coleman knows its way home, even if you don't. So,
I looked at this and I said, "Where the hell's the gas tank?" But then it said Predator motor on that thing.
Yeah. I think your cursor's right on the gas tank.
Yeah, I can tell. They can't see the cursor on the screen, but I think that is definitely where that's the gas tank. So it's got that chopper kind of look to it with that upper tube there. It's a dirt bike because it has knobby, so it calls it. But year, make, and model.
Let's see. Pull start time traveler machine. I think that might be the model. Year 2000 something.
It's a 2000 and something. He did go year. Okay, that's good. Make, and he gave like a Predator 212 engine. Pull start time traveler machine. Year, make, and model. Year. Got that? Make, pull start, time model.
Yeah, I guess that's
the 212. We'll call it the time traveler 212. I'm stretching rules around here. Notice his photo shot from a little bit lower angle. He's kind of showing the booty up in the front there. See how he's kind of got it turned a little bit. I never like a turn away photo like that one because it looks like it kind of looks like you waited till they weren't looking and you shot the photo of it.
Yeah, it's just rude.
It is kind of rude. Sometimes I like to turn that so that like you can see their face. But then again, the helmet looks like he's going Formula One racing.
Yeah, I can't even tell what
we're
looking at there.
And
backwards, old HJC maybe.
Yeah,
it
looks like there's enough stickers on the visor that you can't really see out. Would that be correct? Or that's the back.
We're looking at the back of the helmet. Yeah, it's like an optical illusion kind of. You have to squint. And
it looks like I'm looking at the thing. It looks like the front of a Formula One driver's helmet, kind of thing. So the helmet's on backwards. Good that because when you're doing a little ass eating like it says on the seat, you definitely want to be wearing a helmet.
Oh, of course.
For that. All other than that, it's an accurate description. It provided entertainment. I'm going with. Although this bike clearly does not roost on its own, it roosts in its own unique way.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. That thing roosts.
And you could show up at what your Coleman, what does it have for a motor?
I have no idea. It's whatever came in at a 200cc, not a Predator motor. It's a little detuned compared to that thing.
I have
that'll actually roost. Mine.
I have a Predator motor on my Water Buffalo thing.
Oh yeah.
That thing roosts. I mean it's a first pull starter, which is awesome, and it throws water all over my flat track, which is awesome. So I'm down with that motor. Let's see. Motorsport says he was talking about my Instagram prowess. Pictures of your half boot, videos of the inside of your pocket, etc. Oh, okay, yeah. Follow me on Instagram because I've got you in my pockets segment. I should have done a couple of them while we were riding the 302 strokes. It would have sounded like someone like gurgling after they were passed out, from getting knocked out. When they go that. Yeah, that's the way 302 strokes sound. They're not like a 125. Well, Victor, I'm going. Where are you going with this?
It roosts.
Roosts.
It's a little out of the ordinary, but it roosts.
I'm going with roost. Mark Daniels, clearly comical roost, all in caps. So I think that definitely does roost. Victor is a big friend of the show. I don't know that he's ever won Rooster Endo before. I don't see him in the chat currently. So Gronk says technically it's blue. There's a little bit of delay on some of this. Oh, what? Oh, blue would be the color of the bike, maybe.
Yeah,
it's a blue. Maybe it's the blue.
It's Blue Crew in one way.
Oh, I got it. Sometimes I have to catch my own jokes. Sometimes, so yeah, since it's part of the Blue Crew, that's good. I think that one roosts too. So now we come to the amazing time when we have these $100 gift certificate from Takamoto. That's takomoto.co. If you have needs for your motorcycle, especially the Austrian brands, the KTMs, the Huskies, the Gas, they're getting into the Hondas. They do all kinds of other things too, especially graphics and stuff. Go check out takomoto.co. Tell Taco Mike you heard about him on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, not affiliated with Takamoto except for the sponsorship of this segment. I invented Tech Talk. I think Takamoto existed and I knew about it, but there was no correlation between the naming of the show and that company.
All came together in the end.
It all came together, especially when he wanted to sponsor the Rooster Endo segment because he believes in this stupid stuff that we do. Stupid meaning educational, because he also has a group on Facebook, the EXC and FE kind of performance group. You can easily find it by clicking through Dirt Bike Tests and look there. He does white sheets on bikes. He answers questions of the week and is really active in kind of keeping engaged with the community, as well as selling stuff that they all need. So, $100 on the line. Let's ride the Idaho BDR with the pull start time traveler, says Jason Abbott. You know what? I can guarantee you we could get Victor. Victor would be into doing something like that. He'd probably rather take his Africa Twin because he's a Honda guy, but that thing looked pretty. And I'm pretty sure that's Victor because he sent it to like some sort of weird alias email address, which means I might try to send him the $100, or put him in touch with Taco Mike for the $100, and it might go to one of his weird ass email accounts that we don't know about, and then he'll never find it. It could get lost in the ether. Waste. So, have we already decided that he wins?
I don't know. I mean,
okay.
Look,
it's up for discussion.
If it's up for discussion, hey, this is your show, so I don't want to interject too much.
Well, Kelly's gonna get ready to throw up from the suspense.
Look,
because there was no question that the Husaberg was absolutely going to win just because it was a Husaberg, and then you guys both roosted it, and I had to kind of take.
I'm really digging the.
You know what they say. Sometimes you have to coax the boner down.
Okay.
So
I haven't heard that one. Learning.
That happened with my Husaberg dreams that we were having there. So okay. So we got rid of the Husaberg. Sorry, Kelly. The first bike, the gas. I like that.
I forgot about the gas.
But it's almost like a Honda, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean it.
And then you like this multi-purpose Yamaha.
I like the multi-purpose Yamaha. I'm thinking about bang for the buck. What are they going to be able to get from Takamoto? And I know they sell all kinds of stuff.
Well, this is it's funny because a lot of times we've gone back to this, like people send us pictures. Well, actually, a couple of you made their kids send in Rooster Endo segments. And it's like, dude, you're going to get that money and you're going to go straight and you're going to put it on your KTM, not your kid's TTR 125. It won because it was a TTR 125 and it was a Yamaha.
That's fair.
And it was a kid who did the homework that Dad gave him. Because we looked at the way it was worded and the spelling, and they made the kid do it, and we're like, okay, that's a win. So sometimes we look at the bigger picture on some of this stuff, like where is this going to go and how is it going to be used. So the pull start 2000 blue. What are we calling that thing? The time traveler.
Time traveler.
Yeah, I don't know what They don't. I don't think they make graphics kit for that thing.
No. I mean, it's already got some pretty nice handmade graphics. I don't think you'd want to cover anything up that's already on.
He's not going to put it. He's not going to put a Vortex ECU or any other kind of ECU that Takamoto sells on that thing.
It's a piece of artwork, and I really like that YZ, but that thing is pretty dialed as is.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think what he could use. Okay,
pretty dialed.
Keep going. This brings us back. So the tie for the two bikes is Dave's bike and Dylan's bike, as far as just like kind of standard issue bikes that both kind of do stuff and could use stuff. and they both kind of fit in the description of where Takamoto does stuff. And I know you like the red one, which is the gas.
Yeah.
What about Dave's bike?
I think
Did he have Takamoto stuff on it?
he already had Takamoto stuff
What does
on
he
the
say?
bike. He's got his Takamoto fuel pump and Takamoto tail tidy.
So he's familiar with the company,
He is.
and I like supporting our sponsors. I like people that support our sponsors.
That's a good
And
point.
he has some other stuff on there, and nobody thought this was going to go this way.
You know what? I like where your head's at.
Okay, I'm choosing, and I can override everybody
That's fair.
because it's my show. But anyways, and I don't want to set an example. You can go anywhere you want, but I'm choosing Dave Donnelly.
You know what? I'm going to choose Dave too.
Yeah.
Hopefully Takamoto maybe has some hand guards that might be able to replace those.
Mark's going for the gas in the beginning. That's okay. Mike owes me a bunch of free crap anyway. says Kelly. Kelly, you got to put your damn name in your description because it's hard to. You got a YouTube channel. Hey, Dave. He already thanked me. Dave Donnelly's even watching the show, and he has been a loyal listener, and he's been out here before. He owns Husabergs, so he has some Husaberg blood in him. He's part of we call it the family, La Familia.
All right.
They're like, but we're not. We have to figure out a way to call that in like sort of Swedish, but make it super gang. I don't know how that works, but maybe we'll just wear our socks up higher or something. I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
Anyways,
Congrats, Dave.
Congrats.
Sorry
Dave.
I endoed you, but
Oh, now
put it to good use.
even more reason to just beat the guy up on the Pahrump Dirt Riders chat forum or wherever that is.
Oh, no.
I'm a member of that someplace too. I see those posts every once in a while. I just don't get too active in that stuff. Okay, let's go straight into the questions. So this is the part of the show where we're going to do rapid fire questions from our comments on YouTube. And so basically they're almost 100% YouTube comments. Sometimes we rip them off of Facebook and all these different things. But when you leave a comment on one of our posts, we talk about it. The majority of these are for the Honda Transalp video we just dropped yesterday because it's getting a super ton of traffic. So if you're into adventure bikes, we should have put a disclaimer at the front of the show. If you want to go to the Transalp segment, just skip to the end.
yeah.
I got to remember to
pop-ups
bookmark
up,
that thing or something like that so we can help people out. Let me look at that first page to make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh boy, we have a letter from we have a letter from Dan at the marketing agency.
Dan at the marketing agency.
Yeah, Dear Dirt Bike Test. Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and read that. All right, this is from Dan.
I might need to go get another beer for this one.
At marketing agency. Dear Dirt Bike Test, this is Leslie from RUTU, a company that specializes.
Oh wait, I thought I was talking to Dan.
No, this is
It's
Leslie.
Okay,
This
got
is
it.
Leslie.
Yeah,
They
okay.
switched on us.
Okay.
This is Leslie from RUTU, a company that specializes in providing high quality and fairly priced motorcycle accessories. I like it. I came across your YouTube and think you would be a good fit for the promotion for our product, motorcycle handlebar and handguards. Here's the product link.
You don't have to read the link off.
I feel like if I read it off, I'm going to get some kind of virus, so I'm not going to do that. This product aims to enhance the safety of sport and off-road motorcycle riders like you, Jimmy.
Uh-huh.
What we can offer: a new product for you valued at $60, extra payment for the cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need from you?
It's starting to sound good.
Amazon buyer review video on Amazon. We will pay it for you.
Oh.
They will pay it for you. Publish product review video on your YouTube channel, Dirt Bike Test. You can do both tasks or choose one of them. We would really appreciate it if you can attach your rate per video. Looking forward to hear from you soon. Best regards, Leslie.
Amazing.
Sounds legit.
Oh, so somehow I'm enough of a Dirt Bike Test, Jimmy Lewis, whatever, is enough of a, I guess, influencer to receive these kind of things. They farmed us out. But this is the kind of stuff that you get sent on a regular basis where they want to pay us for a good review and a video. So I'm asking this to people. Make comments on this, by the way, when you kind of are watching the show or listening to it, emails and stuff like that. Should I go ahead and respond to this? Because I looked at the link, and it's basically a set of, we'll call it faux taper handlebars.
Oh, you clicked on it?
I opened
malware.
No, I opened it up into a browser that wouldn't affect this and stuff. I'm smart enough to do this. So open it up into a browser that wouldn't affect it. Checked out. It's faux taper handlebars.
Faux taper. All right.
And they come with wraparound handguards that look amazingly like the Sherby's Rally ones.
Nice.
Like
Okay.
the generic standard issue. And it comes as a complete kit. It's a $60 value that they're willing to give me, and that's what they're charging for it. And there was links, and I forgot to really pay attention, look how many people had bought it or how many reviews they had or whatever. But this is the kind of stuff you get. And this is stuff that like quote influencer people will like, God, I need to make some money, and they'll jump at this. I haven't seen. So what I want to do is I want to wait a little while, and I want to go and see all of a sudden the video reviews popped up and see who bought this, who baited on this, but be aware this is kind of what's going on, because I mean, if I did a video of what I really thought of that,
Yeah.
do you think they're going to pay me? How long do they get the video first and they pay me, or
Hey, who knows? It might be really good stuff.
you just never know. Hey, $60 for handguards and wraparounds is a I would, if I were a poor dude, just a kid just getting into it, and I had bent handlebars, I kind of think about that, like the $60 here, or $110 for quote the real thing, but I don't get handguards. Like maybe. I mean, it's an interesting dilemma, and but just something to.
Yeah. I think I might have that same exact
Leslie,
email from Leslie in my inbox right now.
Really?
Had to work. So.
Well, you should check that. If you do, let me know, because that'd be interesting. But I when it was from Dan, I didn't really want to open it. But then Leslie started talking to me. I'm like, hey, I wish
nice.
you would have. I wish you would have put a little emoji con or something like over, like a picture of her. Generally, it's a picture of her shot like this, just before she's getting ready for work.
Sell it to you,
Little, it's got some, okay. Yeah, there's okay, go ahead and hit the next. Oh, do you like tequila, by the way?
I do not.
Okay.
I exclusively drink Miller Lite.
Okay.
I'm a creature of habit.
Well, I'm just Mark, just in case Mark wants to know. Motorsport says 99% of the time that's a huge waste of your time. I like wasting my time sometimes. I bought mufflers and handguards, like I said before, off of Amazon just to see what it was and to try it. And you know what? Just like some of these cheap Chinese mini bikes, people say, oh, those are junk and they're crap. And I'm like, buy one for your kid, let him ride it, let him break it, and make him fix it. And if he or she has the wherewithal to want to stick with it, they're a motorcycle rider, they're going to learn some lessons from it, then buy them the next bike.
Totally.
Or make them earn half of the first one and then buy them the second one. Make it, because it's only $325 for the whatever the thing Victor had or something like that. So
Hey,
okay.
I mean, the Honda 110's made in China.
Every
Good
once in a
bike.
while
Love
we
it.
say good things on this show. Next question.
Next question.
Oh, we're gonna do rapid fire. So yeah.
Rapid fire. This is before the Transalp. You want to jump into Transalp, or there's one above it?
Yeah, one above it.
One above it. All right. This is I don't know who that. Guillaume Saint Germain.
Okay, sounds good.
Hi. If you put the 450X versus your 300XC side by side on a long stretch, which one is faster?
Depends on the traction.
Fair.
This is why everybody asks these questions, because they just think, oh, he's going to say this one's fast. The 2-stroke's faster, the 4-stroke's faster. No, it depends on the traction and the rider. Certain riders will be faster on the 450. Certain riders will be faster on the 300, just based on how they get on the throttle and what they do. Are they gear high? Are they gear low? Are they going to make shifts? So many different things. That's why when we did those roll-ons, it was very controlled. Third gear, turn the throttle, hold it wide open. Sixth gear, turn the throttle wide open. Roll it on. All these different things. Back in the day, you couldn't turn the throttle wide open on a 2-stroke because the carburation wasn't that good, or the fuel injection wasn't. They'd fall on their face. So anyhow, it depends. It depends on a lot of things, and I can't give you a straight answer because I don't know what information you're trying to get out of me other than they're the same.
Well said. All right, on to the Honda Transalp.
Honda Transalp.
El Gringo. It's definitely a bonus over the T7 for shorter, smaller framed pilots. T7 has a better dirt pedigree, but for the pilot who can't reach to regain balance on uneven terrain, that person will get further on the TA. On the Transalp.
Yeah, so T7 and TA. I got to remember those things now. So we talked about in the video about how the Honda has a very light steering, and if you're standing up or even sitting down, more so when you're standing up and you start losing your balance and you start shaking around, you will turn the handlebars easier on the Honda than you will on the Tenere. It's just based on the way the chassis character is. The light feeling makes the bike feel light, and it's really nice. And even on road, it just provides you feel like you have more control of the motorcycle. Where sometimes when the bikes are a little more stable, they don't feel as responsive on road. And so I agree with what he's saying. It's an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time. It's kind of like two sides. And there's another question I know later on that'll come up that we can dive deeper into this, or I'm just going to have to put a hold on it because I can't answer it quick.
All right, rapid fire. Crane Daddy 678 asks, my first thought this morning was, I hope I see at least 10 more new Transalp videos today, and here I am.
Thanks. I'm
Good stuff.
glad I could help.
More of a comment than a question. Moving on. Craig Alberts, really well done review. Now awaiting what you might do to it to make it a bit more of a bike Jimmy would choose over another in case the Husaberg wasn't available.
Well, he said Husaberg. You can tap that bell. Thank you. This is something I'm talking with Honda about right now. They actually told us we could keep it a little bit longer than most loans go for, and I think my friend is the off-road press manager for Honda, and kid I grew up with. He took my job at Cycle World. His name's Ryan Dudak when I left Cycle World, and so he's been around for a while. And I think that they know where this bike sits. They know that I'm a Tenere guy, and they would like to see like what someone who knows how to make it more off-road focused. I mean, they know how to make it more off-road focused, but they'd probably like a little bit of exposure on this, so I may do it. So we'll see. It's just, it takes a lot of time. I'm still working on my Tenere vlog. Go watch my Tenere vlog if you have Tenere questions, and tell me to get my ass in gear and do the next thing all about the shocks I've been testing.
All right, moving on. Do I have to read all the names? Try to go for it?
Yeah, no, I like it because then you're more like Logan.
Yeah, this is
with a beard.
Yakir Bereshit, maybe?
Yep.
Is this your honest opinion, or are you paid to say that? Motorcycle is yours. Who funded the clip?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely paid. I'm paid by Yamaha for this segment of this show. Yamaha brings you Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Yamaha helps support a lot of the stuff that goes on our website. Yamaha, being the awesome sponsor they are, helps contribute to the allowing us to be able to do what we do without going underground, going broke. Thank you, Yamaha. I really appreciate that. So that's how we got this video up here. This is a positive review of that motorcycle. I feel it's a very positive. I talk about how it works. I talk about the shortcomings. And I talk about the things where it's really good. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. For me, I prefer the Tenere. And the reason Yamaha, and one of the main reasons Yamaha, is they noticed I was saying very good things about the Tenere, and they thought I was a KTM guy. Like, well, you're a KTM guy, but you're saying good stuff about the Tenere. And I know the guys that have worked there, and they're like, yeah, you're doing all these things. They weren't aware of some of the stuff they were doing. They got behind us. So yes, I'm being paid in a small way. All of dirt bike is being paid kind of by the advertisers, more so than a lot of other people that are just quote Instagrammers or just going out and doing stuff that somehow managed to make $300 a month off their channel or whatever it is. That's not enough to produce the stuff that we do, or to have the expert opinions or whatever else that we do. We don't, and you now you know how we test bikes.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
You saw, we didn't just hop on the bikes and go ride.
No, we spent an hour setting them up,
dicking around with setting up, thinking about things, learning things. You know, and today I was weighing bikes. It's like, yeah, you can go and shoot a pretty picture, fly in, shoot a pretty picture, ride around, say, oh, this is great, and take off. At that point, you're being paid by the manufacturer. You're not being paid. You're getting a junket by the manufacturer because you have enough eyeballs looking at it, and you're not going to say anything bad. But I've built enough trust in the industry. We at Dirt Bike Test, used to be a Dirt Rider. We at Dirt Bike Test have enough credibility where we can have manufacturers loan us motorcycles. It was Honda's motorcycle. They loaned it to us. Just like I said, they would like us to do some modifications to it and see how it works. And yeah, so that's the truth of the matter. That's how we work. I need to do a video on how we test bikes, like just kind of explain why it isn't just another pretty picture.
Totally.
So, next question.
Peter Iverson, publicly subscribed to you 5 years. Oh, that just tells you that? Okay. Always good to hear you, Jimmy. Your experience and honesty makes these reviews worth a lot.
Can you send that post back to what's his name?
Back to
yeah, send it just back to him. Hey, Yamaha is also financing a lot of trail work in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you, says Motorsports.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so now they're like, I honestly, and I'm not just saying this because they're helping us, but like, Yamaha's really active in keeping, supporting the sport. They're keeping the endemic media alive. They're supporting a lot of people that are doing what I'm doing. Different podcasts, different guys that are testing bikes. They're helping keep us alive. Where a lot of people are just throwing all their money at like Facebook or YouTube advertising, all this stuff, and people that like if I was getting zero to do this, would I still do it? It's a good question. I might not because it takes time. It takes work, prep, all this other stuff. And so, yeah, I kind of, at the point where I'm at in my career, I don't need to do this. I kind of do it as half of it is a give back to say, hey, this motorcycle riding has given me so much. I want to give some back. So if you ask a question, I want you to be able to find someplace where you can go and talk to somebody who knows the answer. And hence, this is how all this works. But yeah, I'd like to say, blowing my sponsors, like just a shill for my sponsors.
It's like, hey, I mean, Yamaha.
In all honesty, they know what we do here, and they're like, you can do whatever you want. They don't. I picked a freaking KTM as my favorite bike ever. Like, how bad is that?
You're being honest.
But I always back that up with, like, I still take my YZ125 to the racetrack.
No, you have to. They do a lot of awesome
and
stuff.
I ride my Tenere as an adventure bike, so they got 2 or 3.
Yeah,
okay,
next. Ken Smith. Is this bike Honda's answer to the now discontinued DL650 V-Strom?
So that'd be the Suzuki V-Strom. And it's funny because I didn't even think about the V-Strom at all when I was riding the Honda. So Honda, definitely more power, but some of the comfort and rideability, and that V-Strom was the older one, I think, more than the newer one, now discontinued. And they have the 800. They're going there. Somebody wants us to test that too, which would be interesting because now it's an 800, not a 750. And one of the things I said is being a 750 as opposed to the 650 Aprilia and the 700 Yamaha, they got a little up on the power, and it's a little more exciting, and it's a little, do I prefer it for off-road? Because where are you more than a quarter throttle or half throttle off-road on a adventure bike? Not much. But it's funny because that would be an interesting comparison too. It's very similar in a lot of the characteristics with more power, probably even lighter feeling. The Honda would be lighter feeling than the old Suzuki, and I did ride that thing a little bit. So, okay, next.
All right. Finally, this is the El Duderino.
El Duderino.
Finally, an honest rider review on the TA. Big Rock and Dork on the road have gushed so much, I was finally ready to buy the first one I saw. Just test rode the TA yesterday afternoon before I pulled the trigger. It was just okay, not bad, certainly not great. Good value, tech, suspension, power, just nowhere near my more expensive bikes. Also not as impressed with road riding as others. It's neutral but generic, turn-in isn't great, brake dive and forks. If you don't have money, sure, otherwise not impressed.
So it's interesting. I've now he's responded back to my comment that I sent back to him, which basically said this. I was interested by his comment about he didn't feel that it was like he didn't have the kind of confidence turning in on the road and stuff. Our bike was tested with the Bridgestone trail wing, the kind of more open knobby. I explained this in the video. If you're curious about what we're talking about, go to the YouTube video. You can click through it on dirtbiketest.com. Go to the YouTube video. You can look at the video and look at the comments, and you can see we respond to a lot of the comments. And he's responded back now because he has like a Ducati ST4. I mean, he has a lot of bikes.
Okay.
And I realized and he also watches a lot of videos because he even came back with his comment about this other video. Watch this other guy said this other thing. And sometimes, like, when there's a lot of static out there. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he said, hey, he realized that what we said matched more of what he felt. But I was curious about his on-road comment. I said, hey, maybe it's because we were running different tires than the standard tires, and maybe that changed the feel. And I kind of just got a vibe from him when he talked about his other bikes that maybe he was riding a little more aggressively on the street than I was when I pushed on the street to the point where the tires kind of like slide a little bit. I go, okay, that's enough because I don't want to go down. Not my bike. I don't want to break it. And I mean, I can go around turns as good as anybody on an adventure. Well, no, not the Continental test riders I rode with. Those guys are nuts. But I get it. And so I said, hey, maybe you're riding a little more aggressive on the street, and that's why you're feeling it, because he was talking about kind of some front end dive and stuff. And I'm like, or maybe I was just smoother in my turns and he's a little more hacky. Not to, I don't know, but I could see where anytime you're on an adventure bike that's got that kind of softer, more compliant feel, which this bike does, it can feel wallowy and divey when you're on and off the brake. So I kind of threw a question back at him and said, hey, could this be the reason for what you're feeling? And that's the level we test at, my friends. It's not just basic. It's not just, oh, this is great, we rode around. Oh, it's awesome. Look at the picture. I'm on Instagram. And it's like, whatever. So, yeah. Okay, next question.
Next question. This is from 1971 Puffy. My buddy works for Honda, and he said over a year ago, this wasn't the bike to trade my T7 for. Kind of already covered that.
My buddy works for Honda, and he gave me the bike to go test. and he knows I have a T7. And he didn't try to tell. He just said, "Hey, go tell everybody what you think about this." And I appreciate that. And it took me a little while to get the review out because I had to ride it a lot. I let a bunch of my buddies. Thanks, Jim, for being my video model in a lot of that video. I forgot to send him a copy of that. He's not too much on the digital side of things. He's a real guy that goes out and rides all the time. But Jim's my video model, photo model, and most of that stuff. Wasted a good day of going riding to be a photo model, video model, which is a pain in the ass. Poor guy had to shoot that thing, me. Okay. But yeah, thank you.
Cool. On to the next. RJ Vidmoto. What's great about Dirt Bike Test and Jimmy is the trust built over years on the reviews. Nice to have this resource. Question. At 552, you talk about light handling. Can you talk a little bit more about what characteristics make up a bike's light handling and why that may or may not be a good thing for most buyers of this bike or other middleweight adventure bikes?
I needed to just do a whole video on that.
All right.
Like on that subject. That we talked a little bit about it when we talked about the light handling earlier, but I could literally spend an hour talking to you about, and it'll go into riding technique and a couple other things, but I will probably do a thing. An RJ video helped me shoot my KTM 390 video back in the day. I think he's been a fan of the channel and helped us out. He shoots car videos.
Publicly subscribed for 5 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Big supporter.
Well, probably doesn't have anything better to do. I mean, why would you want to listen to me for 5 years? Okay, next one.
All right, this is from You Gruels.
You Gruels.
You Gruels. Glad I have the T7.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
How do you know any different? Have you ridden a Transalp? So, but he watched the video, and then he made that determination based on what I said. Yamaha, big sponsor of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, and wouldn't you be like, what's the name?
Which one was it?
The one you just read.
Oh, this is You Gruels.
You Gruels. Wouldn't you like to buy You Gruels and
be glad that you have the T7?
That's right. Yeah, brought to you by Yamaha. Next.
All right.
Oh, I see. I did that.
Yeah, you did. You put a note on there.
I came out of there. No, I did an ad read without an ad read. Yeah.
I thought you saw it. I pushed it over that way.
No, I didn't see it. I remembered that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do a plug here for my sponsors. And everybody's like, oh, no, he's just a shill for all his sponsors. Okay, go ahead.
You're a professional.
I'm a professional.
All right. JT8144, LOL. I like how you ripped off the colorway for your channel logo from Honda Racing.
I'm not familiar with
red, white, and blue.
No, that's American flag, bro.
Yeah, that's
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was wondering whether I thought I copied the Husaberg logo really because that's all I look at is Husaberg videos and Husaberg chats, and I ride Husabergs. I have to write sentences in my shop sometimes. It says I will not say bad things about Husabergs when they break.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Colorway critique. Next, YouTube account 9058 says, no worries about leaving gritty old grease in there?
So there's a video about repacking some bearings. It's one of these. We're going to start doing a little bit more of these, just kind of like tech videos. And we basically just kind of showed how to repack bearings without, well, I think we actually showed like how if you're not careful about sliding the thing, the sleeve all the way out like a double stacked, they're not roller, they're kind of roller needle bearings. Right. Thank you. So sometimes you can slide it like out and then put the grease in there and slide it through the other way and put the grease in there so they don't all collapse and fall out. So we kind of did this video with it, and they're like, you're not worried about it? Like, no, it was relatively clean in there. we didn't put any dirt in when we were doing it. We're just adding more grease. For sure, there's a little bit of moisture in there, and it kind of causes the grease, but you're going to get a certain amount in there. If I really wanted to do it properly, I would take everything out, spray it all out, and put it all back in perfectly clean. But it's like, is that going to save me anything at that point? Like, is it going to make that big of a difference? So a lot of what we do here at Dirt Bike Test and Tech Talk Taco Tuesday in general is kind of show you, we'll call it like real world fixes. It's not polished. It's not super tuned.
Not factory race shop.
I know how the factory race shop works. You don't have the time or the money to do it that way. If you want to, yes, you absolutely can. But most people are just in their garage and they go, "What do I do about these things?" It doesn't work. It was just kind of a quick video to say, hey, you can, while you have the swing arm off, why not slide it halfway out and pack a little bit of grease in here, and slide it halfway in there, pack a little bit of grease in there, and spin it around. And now you got grease in there, and it's going to be doing its job. And even if you did clean it to the tenths, like a clean room, 2 pressure washes later, it's going to look exactly the same inside there, So couple mud bogs, Blackwater 100 mud bogs, and
a little bit of poof dirt,
yeah.
pressure washer.
Well, see, we don't. Yeah, that's why we don't pressure wash too much out here. I mean, we do a little bit, but. And if you want to pressure wash your bearings, like, go ahead. Like, just be careful where you point that damn pressure washer.
Yeah, you don't need to wash bikes out here. All right, next we have Kevin V. Is this the new chassis from the 2023 YZ450F?
So he's talking about our 23 WR impression, and no, it is not. It's still one generation behind. Amazingly, the 2024 WR will have that new chassis. The FX and the WR got upgraded at the same time this year. And so those now, the 2024s, will have the same as the new 23 YZ. Same as the YZ250 got this year.
That thing looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. And Hopper Pavarotti says, Yamaha sponsored trail markers in my neck of the woods. It is great to see companies that are willing to help out trails to keep open for all users to share and enjoy. That's our right there. Okay, that's our question of the week. Hopper, what kind of bike do you have? Like, just answer that question real quick in the chat, and you may be happy that you did.
Comment of the day.
Comment of the day could be the comment of the day.
All right, on to the next. User something, anonymous user.
Uh-huh.
Had a half-day ADV class with Quinn and did 2 days in Pahrump with Jimmy. To a hacker like myself, what these two can do on a bike is absolutely incredible and very inspiring. Have to agree.
Thank you. I wish the pat on the back machine were operating right now, but he was commenting on the video I did with Quinn and Jessie. We did it in their studio, the Dakar Daily Podcast studio. It's last week's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Real interesting to talk to those guys. Quinn works. He does street R&D. Or we'll call it street R&D, but basically bikes with license plate R&D in the United States, because he does a lot of mostly adventure bikes and stuff like that. So there's a lot of interesting insight from Quinn on both Dakar and kind of some of the stuff that KTM does, and some of our history and riding and different things. So yeah, listen to what the Crusher has to say about motorcycles.
Right on. All right. Next up, Ryan Rusk. Best show you've put out, and I've enjoyed most of them. Everything about this episode was awesome. 5 stars to Jimmy, Quinn, and Jessie. The trifecta.
Well, Jessie really brought that whole show down, and that's why I brought him on tonight. In the beginning of the show, was to try to give him redemption a little bit, But again, he was a complete letdown, and I'm a little disappointed. And I'm thinking that maybe I'm just going to pay them a little bit less, on my ad deal, because we have some negotiations in the thing. But check out Dakar Daily Podcast, Quinn Cody, and that other guy, Jessie, do that podcast.
Cool. All right. Looks like we have some WR250F questions. This is from Taiwan on 1614.
Taiwan on
1614.
About ready to. It's about that time.
If they just put blinkers, subframe, and 50/50 tires on this, would sell big time as a dual sport and put a big hole in the KTM 350 EXCF market. Have to agree on that one.
You do?
I would, yeah.
Okay, so I think everybody would agree in the sense that if you just put those things on it, it would be a better bike. But You can't just put those things on
No,
it because
no.
there's DOT regulations and EPA regulations and a lot of vehicle testing that goes into it. And when you start doing that stuff, it just starts doing different things to the bike. KTM does an amazing job at making bikes that manage to pass all the tests. And so does companies like Beta, and Honda goes through a lot of things. Yamaha just chooses to ignore that. Just like you can't buy the WR in California because California enacted some ridiculous regulations in a 9th-hour deal that literally Yamaha had made their plans for how they were going to produce these bikes, and they couldn't put charcoal canisters and all the evaporative emission stuff, even on a dirt bike. So it's not as easy as you would think. And so sometimes when you're saying, why don't they do this? Like, just even today I was talking with a company about, their line, the amount of models that they have parts for is just becoming astronomical with, KTM coming on with 3 different brands. So instead of just having one color, they have to have 3 different colors of this thing. And then when all of a sudden, Honda moves the mounts by 10 millimeters, they have to update their entire product catalog for the next year, and they have to make a new part and then inventory it. And you know this because you have dealings with the retail side of things and how much stuff do you want to stock and your catalog. People are ordering things for 5, you're building wear items. People are ordering things 5, 10 years back, 20 years back.
Yeah.
When do you clip it? So I think a lot of times the customers, we become entitled as motorcycle consumers because you just want everything right now. You can just go on the web and find it someplace and click it and it shows up. You should be thankful that that's available. And I wish that there was a YZ 350 FX. Like, good God, with that. But Yamaha's not just going to take the 250 and put a bore kit in or sleeve down a 450. They want to build an entire engine platform because the 450 and 250 frames are kind of the same. But they don't just drop the motor in the 250 and say go. They have to engineer the angle that it's going to sit out, the different head stays and the way that they attach it in there so that it works properly, so that it isn't just we're just throwing engines inside of frames. And so I often get confused when people just expect that. Like, you don't go to the car, to your car dealership and say,
easier said than done.
Right. Why don't they do this or that?
Yeah. I mean, hey, you can always toss a dual sport kit on a WR 250F and make it your way.
Okay, Hopper, you win. You're winning the comment. He has a KTM 300 XCW, and he had a YZ 450, so he's paying attention.
Nice.
He knows to throw the Yamaha love in there, right?
There you go.
You do not have to do that, by the way. But we're gonna give you the Fasst Company thing. So Hopper, send me an email, Jimmy@dirtbiketest.com. And I will get you hooked up with Cole over at Fasst Company, and we will get you taken care of. Because you are paying attention to the show, and I appreciate that. And and Climb also here's another
there he goes.
Sponsors the Cow Tag, and Frozen Cow Tag benefits users of the trail system and avalanche forecasters, which
Important
is
stuff.
Yeah, especially when you're climbing and do a lot of snow gear. By the way, if you do any snow activities, I snowboard with my Climb Valdez Parka, which is still my favorite. The one I was wearing the other day.
All right.
Like, that's my favorite snowboarding jacket because it has the sleeve so the powder doesn't go when I'm dragging my hand in the powder. Just pow, like that. Doesn't go up the sleeve.
Sick pow days, bro.
Sick pow, yeah. Okay. Last question?
I think we've got...
Okay.
What do we have? I think we have 2 more.
Okay.
Last one, or second to last one from Finn. I went to Racetech Springs for my weight, 190 pounds, and had to go down a rate in the front and up 2 in the rear. It feels much more harmonious now. They said a lot of these new bikes come unbalanced from the factory. Did you find this to be the case?
Wait a second.
Down in the front, up in the rear.
I answered him, and I thought he said up in the front. I thought he said up in the front and rear.
Had to go down 1 rate in the front and up 2 in the rear.
So Finn, completely disregard what I wrote. Now I have to remember to go back. Because I thought he said they went up in the front. So a lot of our test riders in the WR felt they wanted to go up in the front, only up in the front. They didn't want to change the rear, but they're also racers. And so they're a little more aggressive and stuff. So, and this is kind of common. This isn't just the Yamaha. This is with almost every bike. Like they said with both of the bikes we rode the other day, both the 300s, they wanted to go up spring rates in the front. And so yes, I have heard of this before, but not going down in the front and up in the rear. That's, on that bike, I don't know. There's nothing, I have no tendencies to want to go that particular direction. So,
Interesting.
I actually think it has really good balance. Like I said in the video, I think it has really good balance for trail riding. And if anything, I would go one stiffer in the front. That's what I would do. And I'm not usually the first guy to do that. So
Down a rate at 190. I feel like that's
I'm 200. I'm like I could easily go up a rate in the front and I could probably, if I started going quote racing speed, but that's not what that bike's for. For me it's more of like a trail riding bike, so I don't really want to lose the comfort by going stiffer. I'm not going to slam into stuff like that, but it could depend on your riding area and where you're at and all those things. So okay.
All right, and this is last comment from Mouthbone.
Mouthbone. Here's where we lose all of our subscribers.
Uh-oh. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Why did you
No,
only
I'll
show
do it
about
myself.
20 seconds of Yamaha footage and kept showing everything else while you talked about it? Weird.
Okay, so this is in our 450 comparison. Mouthbone says.
Something like that.
So, every once in a while I go in and just check to see who's making the comment. I click on their page. But so I don't know why we only use 20 seconds, because Yamaha's a sponsor, so we decided to only use 20 seconds of their footage and more footage of Hondas, Kawasaki's, and gases, because, we're taking care of our sponsors here. But so I like to go look at the, where it's coming from. Like, where does this comment come from? Is there pictures of dirt bikes or something like that? So I clicked on his page and 3 subscribers and 7 views. But there was pictures of his videos. He had 4 or 5 videos up there. There's pictures of his kid, climbing up some stairs. I didn't watch him. I just saw the slider. Another picture of his kid drooling on something, and then he has a really nice picture of him and his wife, hot wife and everything like that. So I'm thinking if I would have watched these videos, how come there aren't more videos of? Oh, he had a video of a cat. So I was thinking, how come there are not more videos of your cat? Yeah.
All right.
So on that note,
Mouthbone.
Yeah. On that
With
note,
the hot take.
So it's like I don't know why, but I'm wondering why you don't have more videos of your cat, hot wife and kid, but cat. So
There you go.
There we go. Motorsport says I just got a SMW 300S RS 300R 50 state legal. Feels like it makes 20 horsepower and has had a canister. Let the uncorking begin. Okay.
SWM. Haven't heard much about them.
Right. They wanted us to try one of their bikes. We have an AJP.
AJP.
Yeah, you want to ride that?
Sure.
Another weird bike. We've got one of those in the works. I think Trevor has it in his possession. I think the battery's dead and the tire's flat. But it came from Dirt Bike Magazine, so that's probably the way it started, and that's where it ended, and that's where we're at. But anyways, thank you, everybody, for joining in, watching this extended episode of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Ryan. You know what? I messed up because I'm supposed to reintroduce you 2 or 3 times during the show.
That's all right.
I would like to thank you for coming in. Thanks for all the help riding the bikes and providing with some good insight. I think you're going to become a regular here on the show.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what the
You'll have me back.
We'll see what the fans say, because you might have to trim the beard up, or they'll tell you need to wear a wig. Or
it comes off once it hits 100 out here, so it'll fluctuate with the thermometer. So
sounds good. Thanks to everybody for leaving those comments. We do appreciate it. Which HJP? The HJP, it's a big one. What are they? A 6 something or other? 7 something? 7.
Isn't it like a rally looking?
It's a rally looking thing. I rode one once, and the guys at AJP said, "Hey, would you like to test one?" So I said, "Yeah, we'll give it a shot." So
nice.
Yeah, don't know, but we'll figure it out. And okay, and I want to apologize to Mouthbone. BAME. Maybe you get a couple subscribers out of it, but I don't know. I don't know why, but then again, neither do you. So with that, we will see you on the trail. So cheers, everybody.
See ya.